Hello and welcome to the One About Podcast, a show where we bring you chill conversations about nothing of importance each week. This week, we've all brought our own topics back to the mic. This is the One About Roundtable number 2. I'm your host, Dean. I also go by Endless Cola in places around the internet, and I am joined this week, as always, by my Spook Pope Jordan and Spook Vember incarnate, John. What's going on this week, guys?
Excellent. I enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing much, honestly. Just catching shiny Pokemans here and there.
I can't believe you stopped inviting me to the raids, bro. I'm heartbroken.
Okay. First of all, you were busy at the time. Second of all, I wasn't able to talk to you because I was in the room with a sleeping child. So yeah, like when the child woke up, I called you immediately.
You got a shiny Rayquaza without me.
I understand that, but it's fine.
What about you, Jordan?
Well, is Spook Poke like I'm a cowboy, or
He's so stuck on what you called him? Pope.
Pope? I'm a religious
Pope.
spooky figure.
Yes, sir.
Dude,
Yes,
you went from Spook Pastor last week to our Spook Pope.
Oh my god, I hear the word of God.
You've been Spook elected.
I guess the Pope is elected, isn't he? You better release that white smoke because the Spook Pope has arrived. Right? That's when
the Pope dies, bro.
No, the white smoke is no. Honestly, I'm probably wrong, but I swear to once the Pope is selected, don't they isn't there white smoke that is released to
I thought that was when he died, but I might be wrong. I don't know anything about that.
Honestly, I was pretty young the last time they chose a new Pope, I feel.
You're right.
So.
You're right. The white smoke indicates that they've chosen a
Pope. Bring out your white smoker things. No.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Man.
I know what releases white smoke.
Instantly fucked it up.
I know what releases white smoke, dude.
Sir.
Look, here's how you show the world that you've chosen a new Spook Pope. All right, you bring out your bongs, and then you roll them bongs up, and you blow some fatties because that white smoke is signaling the second coming of the Spook God.
Lord, my friend.
Man, I'm derailing hard, aren't I?
Yeah, you need help.
I know, I really do. I'm gonna be all over the place tonight.
Reel it back. Reel it back.
I went. Sorry, I'm Tesla in superpower mode right now.
You're totally fine.
I'm gonna be everywhere. Electing the Pope. Corn in chat says electing the Pope is a really long and arduous process. You should be happy you just got appointed the position. That is true.
Well, here's the thing. He got elected Spook Pope of a church that he founded a week ago. So there weren't many choices in line.
No. There was a very diplomatic process to me becoming the Spook Pope. I just wasn't.
Me choosing?
No. Hey, just because I wasn't aware or didn't know I was running for the position or had no idea this was going to happen doesn't diminish the effort you put into choosing me. So as your Spook Pope, I accept the honor and the responsibility given to me. I'm ready to serve.
First of all, I don't think that you run for the office of Pope like it's the presidency, man. Like, I'm pretty sure that.
What do you think?
Even though I made it clear that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about not 5 minutes ago, I'm pretty sure that like high-ranking religious figures in the church get together and they hash out who's worthy to become Pope. It's not just like, Jordan is running a really good Spook Pope campaign, dude. I'm putting in my ballot for Spook Pope Jordan the first.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like that. Spook Pope Jordan the first.
Okay.
Spook Pope Jordan.
Okay, so being Spook Pope isn't necessarily democratic, and it's technically a dictatorship. But whatever, there's still effort to be chosen, and there's still a lot of work ahead of me. So I'm gonna try my hardest.
There is a lot of work ahead of you. You have to really ramp up Spookvember this year and set the tone for years to come.
Look, I think my biggest challenge in the 5 minutes that I've known about this position has been convincing you and myself of the legitimacy of it. And I think November is going to come out with a success. I think we're going to see spook levels higher than we've ever seen before. Many people have talked about it. I think you know it. I know it, that the spook levels here are going to be, no one has ever seen spook levels these high. And what I'm going to bring is a V-shaped spook economy. We're going to spike right through that ceiling there. And I think we're going to end November with a bang this month, and I can guarantee we're going to end November with a bang.
I'm just really excited because I can't wait to see what our new Spook Pope does after Spookvember, Spooksember, and Spookuary end. I don't even know what we call the rest of the year, but I'm sure our spooky leader will lead us into the spooky promised land.
Well, a lot of successful people have a lot of things in common, right? And one of them is planning. It's foresight. It's knowing what's going to be ahead. And I think that's what sets me different, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at any moment. So I plan on bringing, I plan on bringing a lot of spontaneity, a lot of chaos to the position, and I think that's what's expected of any good, spook pope.
Looks like Fable in the chat wants a recount, bro.
Definitely need a recount.
You don't recount
All
dictatorships. Right. Try again.
I just recounted, and my vote still goes to Spook Pope Jordan the First.
Hey! Sue me.
Straight up.
So, guys, I gotta tell you, I finally finished this book that I've been reading this week. Today, actually, in fact. It's a book that came onto my radar about 15 years ago. Right. And it's from one of my favorite authors. I've been meaning to read it, and like I'll look at it and be like, nah, it's not the day, man. I'll go into Barnes and Noble. Oh, there it is. Nah, it's not the day, man. And it just kept pushing it off and kicking the can down the road. And finally, I realized that it's just been sitting in my Audible queue for like a year and a half. So I just put it on the other day and just started listening to it.
And finally did it.
Yeah, man. And I went through it, and I gotta say, it's the weirdest fucking book I've ever read. So there is that. But then again, he's one of the weirdest authors that I've ever read, and I love all of his books. So
I blacked out. What was the book?
I actually didn't even mention what the book was. Good call, Spook Pope Jordan the First.
Thank you. I thought I had a stroke. I was like, did he already say the name of the book?
No, the book is called Galapagos by Kurt Vonnegut.
Ooh, I've read Slaughterhouse-5.
Everybody's read Slaughterhouse-5.
It was a sign.
I've never read
I know.
Slaughterhouse-5.
No, if it wasn't for Slaughterhouse-5, which it's not one of my favorite Vonnegut books, but like I love that book because nobody would fucking know who he is anymore if not for that book.
I mean, even though it was required, so there were some real bangers of required reading.
Mice and Men, Fahrenheit 451.
Yes, absolutely. Not The Great Gatsby, though. No. I didn't really love The Great Gatsby.
That book sucks.
Wow.
I get it, but didn't really love it. The Giver, dude, I love The Giver.
Yeah, The Giver's good. It wasn't required reading for me, though. I just kind of read it.
It was for me. Was Lord of the Flies required for me? I can't remember.
It wasn't for me.
I did read that.
Lord of the Flies was interesting because it wasn't required reading for me, but for the period right after me, that class, it was required for them. So I have no idea how they chose it at my school, but I didn't have to read Lord of the Flies, and I never have.
Oh, you should.
I probably should. It's supposedly
Animal Farm,
one of those good ones.
Another one.
Dude, Animal Farm was a life-changing book for me. For real. Like that was the book that like opened my eyes to interpersonal and political relationships.
See, public school isn't all bad.
No, public school is not all bad. And books that you're required reading in school is not all bad. I love a lot of the books that we read, actually.
And as Spook Pope, I will move to reintroduce proper education into public schooling. Jesus I'm Christ. Saying that The Shining should be required reading.
Yeah! Wait, That's a terrible Stephen King book. Boo!
Yes. Feed me. Boo me more.
He's the Spook
Boo.
Pope. He lives on booze.
That's fucking terrible.
We don't know how to react.
So I'm just gonna put it out. So how does this strike you? Galapagos is about 4 or 5 people who, and the story of how they became the saviors of humanity.
Is the Galapagos Islands at all involved?
Yes, like they end up in the Galapagos Islands, but that's
I'm
not.
real big. Look, I'm real big on a genre of books that many people don't know about. It's called geographic thrillers. And as long as we have some thrills and a popular geographic or any geographic location, preferably in the title and also in the narration, I think I'll be happy.
Oh well, there's a shit ton of that. I wouldn't exactly call it a thriller though. Kurt Vonnegut books are like Slaughterhouse-Five doesn't really prepare you for the kind of author that he is. Like, I imagine that if you read Slaughterhouse-Five and then went and read like my favorite Vonnegut book, Sirens of Titan, or Galapagos, or God help you if you read Timequake after that, like you're just going to be really taken aback. So, like, for example, Galapagos is written from the perspective of Kurt Vonnegut's imaginary literary self, his son, who has been alive for the last 1,000,000 years and seen the evolution of mankind. I use the word evolution lightly here, as they've turned into best I could describe them, manatees who survive by eating fish in the sea, and they're actively hunted by killer whales and sharks.
So
That's what humans. What?
So humans evolved into manatees?
Right.
So Wally was right.
Wally was right. Yeah, except not in space. Yeah.
Damn it.
Turns out Wally's actually just a movie adaptation of Galapagos.
Dude, Space Manatees? That's a kick-ass band name.
Oh, dude, that would be a kick-ass band name.
Space Manatees, dude.
That's an 11 out of 10 band name. Well done.
Yeah. I'm going to keep that one in the back pocket.
Well, you already just put it on the podcast, so.
Well,
I'll edit that out. Don't worry about it.
just don't remove it. Just beep out what I just said. Yeah, like what the hell do you?
You're right. Beep would be a great name.
Keep the intrigue.
No.
You're not into that?
No, I'm not.
So yeah, I don't know that I would recommend Galapagos to anybody who doesn't like Kurt Vonnegut, but it is certainly an interesting book. I also started playing Resident Evil for the very first time. The first one.
The remake or the original?
Well, yeah, I guess it qualifies as a remake. Yeah, the remake.
No, literally like the remake that came out like a few years ago.
I mean, it wasn't a few years ago, dude. It came out on GameCube.
No, literally Am I thinking of Resident Evil 2?
Yes.
Didn't they remake the first one too?
Yes, that's the one that came out on GameCube, and then just recently, like 3 years ago, they remade 2. Last year they remade 3.
Okay. And they're never gonna remake 4 because that's
working on it right now. Sorry.
That's their no. I guarantee.
I hate to tell you this, but they're already working on it,
and they're never going to finish it. They're going to wait until they really need money, and then when they need money, then they'll actually print it and ship it.
So we'll see it this year. Cool. What a prediction.
Are 8 and the remake of 4 coming out in 2021?
I doubt it. If I had to guess, I would say 8's going to come out next year, and then 4 remake will be the year after that.
8 looks a lot like 4 so far.
I mean, that would be a hell of a thing, wouldn't it? Be like, here's 4 remake, and then 6 months later, here's 8.
Yeah. It'd be dope, dude. I would definitely replay Resident Evil 4 again as
Dude,
a remake.
I'm
That's the only one that I ever really played.
I'm planning to play through because I have all of them, the numbered ones on
Mhm.
PS4 right now, except for 3 remake. I haven't rebought that one,
Oh,
but
juice.
I've never played any of them before. So I started playing. Well, I played 4. That's a
Mhm.
lie. I played 4. Um, so I started playing 1. Dude, going back to Resident Evil 1 is fucking rough. even
Mm.
even this is a remake. I'm like, damn, dude, this is fucking rough.
The controls like the first Metal Gear Solid game did on PS1. It's so clunky, right?
It's not even that the controls, to be honest with you. It's like the general gameplay loop. Because like so first of all, you only have 8 storage spaces for shit that you find, including weapons and ammo, which are 2 different slots.
Yeah.
And you can find all kinds of shit all over the place that you don't need, but you can't drop them until you find a specific item box that there's only a couple of them in the entire game. And so like I started up a game as Chris, which apparently is hard mode. Who knew? Um and I played it for like 3 hours and I'm like and I never found an item box. I'm like, "What the I can't do anything, man. I picked up everything cuz I didn't know this was going to be a problem." And now I'm fucked. I have no ammo. I have nothing to heal with. I'm stuck with these shields that don't do anything. And so I looked up a little bit more on how the game works and I restarted as Jill, who has 8 inventory slots instead of 6. And now I'm having a much better time.
All right.
But yeah, like it's dude, it's just the little things. Like if you don't headshot a zombie or burn it after you kill it, it comes back even bigger and badder than before.
Uh-huh.
But in order to burn it, you need to have a flask full of kerosene and a lighter in your inventory. So, so it's like you have to have a weapon, you have to have a lighter, you have to have kerosene, you have to have a key. So that's half your inventory gone right away. More than half if you're playing as Chris. It's and like backtracking through the mansion to like where the item boxes are takes fucking forever because of the controls. It sounds like I'm complaining, but I actually really enjoy the game. It's like I wish that I was playing it right now. Like, it won't leave my mind. I'm constantly thinking about it and want
Do,
to play it all the time.
do you feel
But
that you would enjoy it if it had a better inventory system, or do you feel like that's part of the strategy and the suspense of it?
Or the struggle.
um
Yes.
I feel like both. So like first of
Okay.
all, I want to be clear that I'm really enjoying the game. I have some major grievances with it in 2020, but like the game is still really fun and I like it. But I think that if there was a better way to deal with your inventory, that it would be a better experience overall. Because the inventory management thing isn't it doesn't really add to the horror or anything. It just adds annoyance because it's like it's not hard to just go back to an item box. It's not like zombies just randomly spawn. They're in more or less predetermined locations. So you can just go back and forth and back and forth. Except there's one item box that's at the bottom of these stairs. So I was at this point where you need to go through this door and out the gate to go into the graveyard and do some shit, then come back. And there were some zombies in there. I was like, shit, let me go back in here, get my lighter and my kerosene out of the item box, burn these bodies, put them back, and then I'll come back and do my shit. So I did that. The problem is when I went to go back and do my shit, the doorknob on the door broke and I can't go through that door ever again. I have to go all the way around the mansion now. And so it's little things like that where I'm like, this doesn't add to the horror. It just adds to my annoyance.
To the frustration of it, sure.
Like, what the fuck is the point in making me go all the way through the mansion? It's not like on the one hand, I get it that like your ammo is limited, so if you have to run through the entire mansion, you're probably going to run into some enemies, and then you have to make real choices about what to do about that. But
Sure.
at the same time, I'm like, I could have that experience without having to travel through the entire mansion. Like, it's just an annoyance when where I'm trying to go is literally right there, and I can't get there because you told me this door is now broken. So, yeah, it's little things like that, but like, I can't tell you why. Despite those annoyances, the game still grips me in a way that not a lot of games do. Like, I'm really, really into this game, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's surprising because when you're annoyed by a game, like you just straight up get over it rather quickly.
Oh, I'll uninstall that bitch with the quickness.
Like
But
without a second thought.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? This game fucking blows. I'm not playing any of these anymore. I don't care that I bought them. Uninstall, 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 uninstall.
All of that. Oh, is that saving my preferences in the backlogs? No, we're digging out there and getting that.
Straight up. But no, I mean, like, there's just something about the game that keeps drawing me back in despite that.
Well, Corn is right. Corn says you had enough of Animal Crossing shit pretty quickly, and yes, he did. Me and Dean
I
didn't
played the
see.
game for over 100 hours, man. It's not like I gave up on it in a weekend.
It's not a game you play; it's a game you live with.
Oh, Jesus.
No, it's not. It's a game that
Jordan?
I played past tense.
Jordan sounded like you need to sleep with this game in your bed.
Like, I need to give
Suckle it on your
this
teat.
game seriously, like, give this game, sign a prenup with this fucking game before I get in over my head.
This game is holy matrimony.
Jesus Christ. Like, I played the game for over 100 hours. I gave it more than enough time. I loved my time with Animal Crossing New Horizons. Straight up. I'm just done with it.
That's all right. That's okay. That's fine. I didn't even give it a chance, so you're a better man than I am.
I don't know if you would like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I only like grindy aspect games when like the reward seems worth it, and like in like the games that I did that in, like Ragnarok Online, World of Warcraft, um, those games, like you get a feel like a sense of superiority, or just like the gear that you get looks cool. Like there's gratification in that grind after that. But for Animal Crossing, I just don't see it. I can't really imagine it.
Yeah, you don't
Really.
get shit in Animal Crossing, but that's also kind of the point.
Yeah,
I
get it.
You get unconditional love. That is what you get from Animal
Jesus
Crossing.
Christ,
Unconditional,
Stop it.
unyielding love and
Good.
unyielding positive chill vibes.
See, that's the problem. I need the disappointment in grinding something for weeks and months on end and never getting it. And then when you finally get it, tears. Actual
you would love The
human
Sims.
Tears. Just out of no. I started playing World of Warcraft during BC, but I actually joined a high ranking guild to where we were doing like end level content. And that's when you get like DKP. Like if you missed a raid, you can't vote on the item that finally drops when you're there, or your raid spot gets taken and shit like that. Oh, those were the days.
I never got into a guild that was that hardcore, but back on Burning Crusade is when I started. I played Burning Crusade, Lynch King, and Cataclysm. And I think I got to max level in Lynch King, and I loved it. Like that was like the golden age of WoW for me. But I never had any hardcore raiding guilds that I was in. I never experienced that.
The golden age for WoW for me was when I never played it.
Jesus.
got
I mean,
it.
that's fine. I mean, you could just get off and like we can talk to Connie about it. That's fine.
She's playing right now, dude.
Jesus, wait, really?
Yes, really.
Good.
Right
Good
this
for
thought-
minute.
her.
I thought we talked about this. I thought we got her off the horse.
Nah.
You know what's funny?
Over.
I talked to her about this. Like, I remember a conversation with her about this years ago. Meaning, like, do you think you'll ever get back into it? And she's like, no, it's just I don't think I could ever do it. And now I see on Discord, I see the in World of Warcraft, and I'm like, good.
Yeah.
You
No,
should-
like it sucks you in, man. It sucks you in.
it does.
Gentlemen, shall we begin our roundtable discussion?
Oh my god, I thought Resident Evil was your first topic, to be honest.
No.
He's just talking
it's
about what
not.
he's been doing. That's
We're
that's
just
just
talking.
catching up on the
Literally.
week.
That's literally just what I've been doing this week is like chipping away at Resident Evil and reading that book.
Yeah,
Okay.
like side note, I'm legit searching for the video of the Ragnarok Online 2 War of Imperium premiere event that I was a part of and that my guild won. Just to show you how much of a nerd I am.
You played RO2?
Yes, I played RO2 when it was in beta, and I joined a high-ranking guild that was high enough that we were streamed live before streaming was really big. The introduction of War of Imperium, and we won. Like, I actually have the mouse pad and the sweatshirt that I got from it.
I need you to send me some pics of that because I'm super interested.
Yeah,
War of Imperium was my shit back in RO.
And now,
Yeah,
for the first time
honestly-
ever in 480p.
like no, like War of Imperium, like Ragnarok Online 2 was actually really good. It just stopped. It sucked when you got to in-game content.
I never
But
even
I,
heard of that game.
Oh, dude,
you never
it was,
heard of? Well, I mean, it's more of a Korean thing, so I'm not.
Yeah, it was just really fun, especially like finally getting a 3D model. And then like throughout the day there was like
I like
tournaments.
the 2D sprites though.
The 2D sprites were cool, and it was really great. But like there were so many different versions and flavors of the server and like the admins that run it. I don't
Like
know. I wasn't
still
into
looks
it.
good today.
It does. You can run it on a toaster as well.
Whereas like World of Warcraft, for example, looks dated as fuck now.
Yeah, that's why they had to like bring back nostalgia. Ooh.
So, should I kick off this
Go ahead.
roundtable discussion?
Kick
Yeah,
it off,
sure.
bro.
Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about this week is storage size for the SSDs on the new next gen consoles coming out next week,
Okay. Yep.
and the implications
Oh my
for
God.
digital purchases.
Is it next week?
It's next Friday. Well,
Oh my
next
God.
Tuesday and next Thursday.
Holy shit, I can't believe it's already here.
I know, isn't it awesome? Because, and the reason I want to talk about this, because like I'm digital right now on PS4, so I'm going to be digital on PS5. But
Did you
I
get
pulled
the? Sorry to interrupt you. Did you
Yeah,
get the digital version of the PS5?
no, I got the disc
Okay.
version.
Just
For
so
a
you
number
can-
of reasons, like
Yeah.
one for like I have 4K Blu-rays in my house. I have a shitload of Blu-rays in my house, so
Yeah.
it can be like my everything media center
Okay.
device, and then also I have some PS4 physical games, and then if for any reason I want to buy a physical PS5 game, I have that option. So
Okay.
it's an option thing more than anything else. But I pulled up some numbers to kind of preface this discussion on, because I want to see how you guys feel about this. I know that Jordan, you're more of a physical collector. I think John, maybe you are too, but I know that Jordan, we were talking about how
I definitely am.
you right, but Jordan, you were saying how you're kind of like I don't give a shit, and you'd be digital on PS4, potentially on PS5 as well. I'm definitely going to be digital because I don't give a shit about physical PS4 or 5 games. The only ones that I have are Dragon Quest, because I want all of those physical if I can have them, and a couple of collector edition steelbooks. That's
Okay.
it. So the and these numbers are usable storage, not what they advertise. This is what the consoles will actually have to use as storage. So the
Yes.
PS5 is going to have 667 gigabytes of usable storage.
Uh-huh.
Series X has roughly 800. Nobody's quote unquote leaked what the actual number for usable storage is, but about 800 gigs.
Okay.
Series S, which is an all digital console and has no disk drive whatsoever, it's not even a fucking option for you, has 346 gigs of usable storage.
That's stupid. What?
Now, I pulled 3 PS5 games, but there's no reason to believe that this won't be similar on Xbox. So I'm just going to use these numbers as kind of a barometer for what next gen is kind of going to look like. Demon Souls, which by all measures is like the most next gen looking game that's going to be available at launch
Oh yeah, it looks great.
on either console for the record, is 66 gigs all by itself. Now, that's not too bad. I mean, that's like a fifth of the Series S right out of the box, but it's not terrible. However, Black Ops Cold War is 125 gigs.
Dude, I don't even know why you brought that into the conversation. That game
because
it's just notorious for being cute.
No, it's brand new. It's not even out yet. I think
No,
you're thinking
I'm
of
talking
Call of
you're
Duty.
talking about Modern Warfare.
I'm talking about Call of Duty games, period.
In general, yeah, they are bloated.
I mean,
notorious for being huge.
They're not like that kind of bloated. But regardless, I brought it into the conversation because Call of Duty is inevitably one of the best-selling games every single year.
Yeah, it's basically going to be on nearly every console. I got you.
Exactly. And then probably what will be the bestseller on PS5 is Miles Morales. If you're like me and you're going to get the Ultimate Edition because you want Spider-Man PS4 remastered on PS5, that version of the game is 171 gigs. So you can see how very quickly all 3 of these, the Series S is fucked. I have no idea how anybody's going to work with 346 gigs on an all digital console.
You don't. That's how you work with it. You don't.
Right. But all 3 of these consoles, just to be frank, don't have enough storage, in my opinion.
Oh, you're 100% right about that. Yeah.
So I'm curious if you guys think that this is going to be a problem next gen, if there's going to be like a third party or even a first party solution, if we just have to wait for expandable storage. I mean, you don't have to wait on Xbox if you have the money for it, but I don't know anybody who's chomping at the bit for a $250 expandable memory card. So just kind of curious about what your thoughts are.
So my first thoughts are expandable storage is a must now. Just for the games that you mentioned, like I'm averaging out, like you can probably get, like depending on the game, you can get 5 to 10 games on your console before you run into the issue that I run into every day. It's like, okay, what do I delete to get this on here? So you're gonna have to get an expandable storage. PS5 stated that there are a lot of hard drive options, SSD options out there that will work. But you also have to factor in, do you want the fastest SSD / hard drive out there so you don't have to worry about load times and like it accessing the data? I mean, PS5 rumoredly went through a lot of hard times and tooling to make sure that this was like the fastest gaming experience with little to no load times within their games. So it's in a nutshell, it's going to be yes, external hard drives / SSDs. You're going to be spending a pretty penny if you want to get the fastest one, or if you just want storage, they're not that much. but it's a definite. You're gonna have to do it, especially if you're gonna go all digital. It's a no-brainer. You're gonna have to do
So
So
right off the bat, I just want to throw out a quick correction for you and for our listeners out there. One of the things that you were saying about any SSD working on PS5 is, for the most part, incorrect. Because if your SSD is not at least as fast as the one that's in the PS5, you cannot play PS5 games on it.
it. Oh,
And I think there are like 3-ish SSDs that are out or about to be out that can hit those kinds of theoretical speeds. But Sony has not officially released their promised list of SSDs that they can guarantee will work.
they're gonna have to, like, if they want happy customers. But I guess at launch it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But like going forward, it's gonna be a thing. Just like with the PS4, where everybody had to get expandable storage.
Right.
Like I don't even think like a terabyte of usable storage is enough space, given those numbers that you just put out.
Also, I do also want to point out that, like, if you're like me and you have an external hard drive hooked up to your PS4 right now, you can just hook that into your PS5 and it'll just work out of the box. Um, but if you want the faster load times and shit, you have to transfer those onto the local storage of the PS5. So
Yeah,
so
and
that's an option.
so wait, but does that bottleneck the load times as well?
If you play it off of the external,
Yes.
well, yeah.
Okay.
Like you can. So what I'm saying is, like, if you want to play a PS4 game, like let's say you want to play PS4 Spider-Man, you can put it on an external hard drive and you can play it that way. It's just going to be the PS4 version of the game.
Yeah.
Um, if you want the PS5 instant load times, you have to transfer it to the local storage of the PS5, and then you can do that. And so, like, you could, like, for me, I have a 4 terabyte external hard drive hooked up to my PS4. I can plug that into my PS5, and then, like, theoretically, I could, get Spider-Man and Call of Duty and whatever else, and like offload them into the external hard drive, and then when I want to play them, transfer them onto the local drive and play them, and free up the storage space that I have that way.
Yeah. Uh, Again, like just as I said before, it's basically going to be a necessity going forward to get an external drive or an internal one that matches or is close to matching the one that comes with the native PS5.
I also want to point out that for people like yourself who would get physical games, Days Gone, which is a PS4 game, has a 25 gigabyte patch for PS5, and Miles Morales has a 9 gigabyte day one patch. So, not to mention, we don't know what installs off the disc and shit like that are going to look like yet. So,
Yeah, I mean
just other things to think about.
yeah, it's really weird to me that if you have a physical version of a game, it still puts a shit ton of data on the actual hard drive instead of just running it off the game. And I don't know if they optimize that for the PS5 to where like they just basically need like bare bones drivers if you have the physical version, and then
I really
I don't
doubt
know.
it, because if
Yeah,
if if you think about it, it's probably going to get worse on PS5, because having to read off the disc is going to be um, an obvious bottleneck for the kinds of read write speeds that we're talking about on PS5.
I mean it shouldn't be because
Well, I mean, it's not like going back into PS4 days, but like if you have to recover information off the disk, that's going to be slower than pulling it off of the SSDs that they have in that thing.
no, I understand that, but like that's what I mean. You should only have to pull like the existential information that you need to like run the game, and all the save data and everything like that. But your progress should be on the hard drive. That's how it should work. Um,
yeah, but so The problem is that the disk is only going to load in what it needs to for you, right? So it's going to move in whatever is coming up or whatever environment you're in into memory. Well, if you look at games like Ratchet and Clank, Ratchet and Clank where they're skipping through,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That game has already, it's basically a tech demo for the hard drive because it's showing you it without any pause, without pop in, without nothing, seamless transitions between entirely new generated worlds without any asset transfer. Everything's completely different when they go through those time portals, right? To do that with a disk without keeping like an absorbent amount of memory loaded at one time, which I'm sure I'm not sure how much memory the PS5 has, but to keep all of that loaded
really quick.
to keep all of that loaded in memory, I don't think it has that much. So the expectation is that
16 gigs of DDR6.
that is significant. That is actually significant. So maybe that'll help that, but still, you're not going to get around reading from a disk. Physically reading anything is going to be a huge, significant bottleneck. Reading through a hard drive connected via USB is not as much of a bottleneck, but you're still subject to USB standards and USB speeds, which isn't as fast as bus memory, which is what PS5 is doing with their hard drive. They have like an NVMe system where your hard drive is literally connected directly to the express bus on the board, and you have blazing fast speeds. So, I don't know. I think it sucks because moving to all digital, of course, we're going to be forced to have more of our games loaded onto something, right? We can't just live off of discs or cartridges anymore, really. But maybe this is going to change the gaming culture, not only for the users themselves. So, like, for instance, I have a shit ton of games installed on my computer. Do I need all of them installed at one time? No. Could I just keep the save data locally on my machine and install them and wait 15, 20 minutes for them to install if I wanted to play them? Yes, absolutely. That's going to be the future that people are going to have. It's going to be you're out of space, pick something that you don't want anymore. We'll keep the save data for you so your experience doesn't change. But if you want to play it again, you're going to have to kill something else. And it's going to be hard. But
Right.
keeping things in an external memory for the PS5 is probably going to be a non-starter for a lot of people because they're going to have those slower speeds unless they offer a good solution in UI and they have some type of memory management which is going to be easy enough for users to understand to go, what game do I want to move from my fast to my slow and from my slow to my fast? And if it's any more complicated than that, it's going to be a failure because people don't need to understand any more than that.
Let me ask you a question that you may or may not be able to answer within kind of accuracy. If we're talking about a game like
I'll lie, don't worry.
if we're talking about a game like Black Ops, it's 125 gigs purportedly.
Yeah.
How long would it take to transfer that to and from an external hard drive with USB 3?
Well, it will probably be. Oh, well, I guess it depends on your hard drive. So if your hard drive is just normal USB 3 and not 3.1, it's going to take a minute.
Let's just
Not
assume
like an
3.1.
hour, but
I actually don't know if the USB ports on PS5 are 3.1. I assume that they are, but
I assume they are
I
as
don't know
well.
if we have that confirmation either.
I'd be surprised if they weren't, because the speed bump is pretty significant between 3 to 3.1, even though it doesn't sound like it should be, but it is. And maybe there's even there might be a newer USB standard out there that I just am not aware of because I don't look at USB stuff at all anymore, really. But it's assuming it's 3.1. Here's the issue though. You also need a 3.1 external hard drive.
Right.
And then guess what? Even if you have a 3.1 external hard drive, well, is your external hard drive a solid state drive, or is it a standard spindle, or literally a hard drive in there? Because if it's a hard drive, you're once again restricted by the SATA standard and the actual read write of the drive itself, which I think that 3.1 standard speeds are faster than what a standard spindle can output, unless it's like a high performance spindle, like a Western Digital Black. They have like really high read write speeds, but even like a high read write speed for a spindle drive is laughable compared to literally anything else. It's like, dude, this freaking go-kart hauls ass. It's like, cool, check out my Tesla, right? Like, that's how different it is, really. So you're going to be bottlenecked no matter what. And the main advantage of the PS5, and as I see it, the main technical win over Xbox seems to be their new hard drive, right? Their whatever they've implemented. I don't know if they've ever really released it, or if it's proprietary. It's that standard that they have in their device. So I think that people are going to be upset, but I mentioned it's a cultural change for not only the user, it's a cultural change for the development team. It's going to be, hey, Call of Duty, whoever makes you. I knew the name of the company, but I forgot them already. Don't fucking make your games 100 plus gigs. You need to compress, optimize, and trim the fat. Because a lot of times game developers just get lazy, and they either I don't want to say lazy. There are definitely some occurrences of just being lazy, and there's occurrences of we're too fucking busy. We are too slammed to optimize and trim the directories and the data in these patches, and also the legacy stuff that probably isn't important anymore that you've already installed on your device. So that's why these games become so bloated and huge. Or it's possible that they are trying to position themselves to once again change the culture and get people used to cloud gaming. I think, didn't Nintendo, one of their games are available for streaming now? Not a Nintendo license, but there's a Switch game that is available that you actually stream it.
So there's a few of those available in Japan. Here in the US, Control was just released that way.
That's what it is. I think that's going to become significantly more popular. And what may happen is you're going to have compromises in areas that don't have high infrastructure or high quality of infrastructure. So you'll have these half cloud games where they work in unison with your network bandwidth and possibly whatever your data that's loaded, and you're also just your onboard memory. They use those three things combined to form not only Captain Planet, but
Stupid.
but to just help with the overall experience and the processing of the game, right? Process things that are intensive off the device, or load things that are memory intensive off device and just stream them, and try and keep the load on the device a little bit less, or the storage of the device a little bit less. They have a couple options, but I think the whole industry is priming its users to cloud gaming regardless. I think all of this is in a much larger effort.
Let me ask you this, and this is just a brief question before we move on to the next topic. But do you think that now that the next gen consoles have these super fast SSDs in them, that it will push PCs towards, I don't even want to say push PCs towards SSDs, because that happened a while ago, but in a way that developers can start really developing cross platform, assuming an SSD? Or if not, like, how far off do you think that is?
I think with PC developers, they already assume that, because with PC PC culture moved to solid state many years ago. Roughly 5 years ago, I think was the big push. Now the big push is NVMe, right? So we're already past that. So we're past solid state. We're into the realm that the PS5 is in currently, which is direct bus connected storage. So that's communicating with your storage device at the same speed that you would theoretically the same speed that you would connect to other things on your bus, like your like your graphics card, or one of your bridges, or any component directly connected to your motherboard via like a serial bus connection. So it's incredibly fast. It's magnitudes faster than other protocols or other connection methods that exist. So PCs are already moving towards it. I mean, I have two. One thing that blows my mind with the PS5, I bought for $90 each two NVMe drives that are a terabyte each. They're just little sticks. They're literally the size of like a USB stick, almost a little bit larger. That's it. And I just plugged them in, screwed them on, and I have 2 terabytes of blazing fast freaking storage. And it's so cheap. So I'm assuming the PS5 is greater than that. And I also assume that the PS5 storage has to have a higher fidelity than my cheap ass freaking terabyte NVMe drives that I just threw in there. Although they've been good. They've been good. I'll give them the credit. But I feel like it's already being primed to go that way. It's already there, like on my computer, I load all my games on that drive, and I don't really wait for anything. I don't really wait.
I guess really what I'm asking is, like, if a developer builds a game specifically for PS5 and it's, Jesus Christ, what is it? 5.5 gigabyte per second read write speed on that SSD. They can design a game in a way that is literally impossible without an SSD, and specifically like those kinds of speeds. So what I mean is, like, in a traditional game, you'll see, and if you watch like Mark Cerny's Power Hour on the PS5, this isn't news to anybody, but he talks about how traditionally you'll build a game, and like Resident Evil is a great example of this. Every time you go into a new room, it does this long animation of opening the door slowly, which adds ambiance, but more importantly, it's loading all the assets for the new room.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that with like a long hallway or an elevator. There's like really traditional ways of doing it. In God of War on PS4, you have to row in this boat for a long time to get fucking anywhere, which gives the game time to load up the assets it needs. But with the kinds of speeds that they have on PS5 and the ability to store this information and X, Y, and Z, you don't have to build a game like that. You don't have to build long hallways just that you can load assets. You only have to do that if you have a narrative reason to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question really boils down to, like, what do you think it would take for developers to build games like that? First, knowing that if somebody is still rocking an HDD or like even a slow SDD that can't do that, that those consumers are just shit out of luck.
I mean, I'm not a game developer, so there are plenty of creative people that make games that can find really creative and, importantly, non-obvious solutions or invisible solutions for this kind of stuff. But I would assume that you would have to make a fork. So the game knows how fast your storage is. It can just know, right? And it can just tell itself, oh, they're using slow storage as defined as whatever. So maybe, we're walking through a door. Maybe an animation is triggered which the camera faces what was previously loaded, and you see the character shutting the door if they have slower speeds, giving the rest of the game world time to render. But maybe if there's fast loading or a faster storage device, maybe they could change the animation or the camera to just immediately walk out into the new environment with it immediately being rendered and presented to the user. That's how I would envision it, right? Like they would just change how the game hid that stuff, and they would just have situational moments where, okay, we got to load a new area. Well, let's, are they fast or slow? Well, all right, they're fast, good. Perform this animation, here's your camera angle. They slow, okay, perform this animation, here's your new camera angle. Or maybe they'll just, have black loading screens, or maybe they'll just say, sorry, your hard drive is too slow to run this game, because they do that with graphics cards, right? So PC developers go above and beyond optimizing games for a plethora of different graphics and processor combinations that are out there. Well, there is a limit. There's a limit to where they go, no, I'm not going to run it on a Pentium 2 with, a freaking Voodoo graphics card from 2000s,
Ooh, boy, I remember when that was the hotness.
They set those limits and they just go, no, you're not getting this. Maybe part of the system requirements will become that you have to have a certain storage speed available to you. And I actually just looked it up. Western Digital just came out with a Gen 4 NVMe drive, which has the PS5's required speed for expandable storage around 5.5 megabytes per second, which is just insane, by the way. It blows mine out of the water already. But it's $150 for this stick, and it's, I think the 150 is for 500 terabytes. But it's out there, we out here,
Right.
It's coming out. I mean, John, what do you think? I've been talking the whole time. John, what do you think? Like how will games react to the faster storage options available and them having to work around those slower legacy forms of storage?
They're basically gonna phase them out. That's the only way that it's actually gonna work in their favor. I mean, they're gonna accommodate them any way that they can, but like they're not gonna hamstring all the tech and all the development that they worked on too much. It's gonna get to a point to, as you said, like they're gonna phase some of these things out to where like if you want to play this game, you have to use this level of hardware. Full stop. Like I've seen it happen with a lot of iterations in different games and everything like that. And to Dean, to your question on cross-platform play, like I feel we're already at that stage, but it's more of a competitor business scenario to where like they would lose too much ground if they agreed on too many games to be cross-platform play. Like you've seen the wars going on with like buying different games and stuff like that, like making money moves. So I feel like that's where that's at. It's not technology that's holding it at a standstill. It's more of the heads of the companies looking at the bottom line that's actually holding that back.
Yeah. And they don't outright phase slow storage right now. I mean, maybe they do, but like if you're coming out like a new game and you're trying to store it on a old like IDE drive, right? Like you're using ribbons and shit to build your PC, and you're worried about master slave combinations of your hard drives. First of all, just stick with Warcraft 3 and StarCraft. And secondly, I don't think they just shut you out. I think you just get a terrible experience, Like you're just a guy that Googles and posts on Stack Overflow, why is my game so choppy? Why does it take so long to load? It's like, because your IO is terrible.
Well, I think that could be a conversation for another day. We'll stick a pin in it for now. I'm sure that very soon I will have some thoughts on exactly what using the PS5 is like. But for now, John, what'd you bring to the table this week?
So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your guilty pleasure TV show and why? Like, it's horrible or like it's not as good as a lot of people would say, but you just can't help but like rewatch it and love it to death. Like, I need to know this information, especially for you, D.
Oh, because I don't watch TV? You calling me out?
Not that you don't watch TV, it's just you're very particular on what you choose to watch. So I just want to know, like, what would you consider like a guilty pleasure to where it's like it's like of poor quality by general standards and consensus, but you still love it.
Well, I mean, I'll just be straight up with you. I don't watch any shows like that. But
Really? Okay. All right. You see what I mean, Jordan? This is exactly why.
Well, no, hold on.
Put your monocle down, Dean.
There's more to that statement than that. Like on the broadest level, I stand by that statement. Like, I don't have time for TV, so I don't watch anything that's generally considered to be of a low quality to begin with.
Okay. All right.
But if I was going to pick something that I would consider to be a guilty pleasure, and it's weird for me to pick this show because it's so immensely popular, but I'm like, I've never met anybody who also watches it and enjoys it. Just again, weird given how immensely popular it is. I think it's one of those shows that like a lot of people watch, but they won't fucking admit that they watch it because the people who talk shit on it, like you, John, are so vocal that they're just like, I don't even want to get into this shit. And that is Big Bang Theory. I fucking love that show. I think it's fucking hilarious.
All right.
And I watch it all the time.
Oh my god. Okay.
Cringe.
like
no,
in the
no judgment zone. No judgment.
Like it's not like I'm not judging them because like I
God is
started watching Big Bang Theory.
Fuck you.
I started watching Big Bang Theory and then I actually like was like, all right, I'll try this show out, and I literally started from season 1 and followed it all the way up, and like it has its moments. It's good here and there, and like it's like a show that started the whole like we can respect nerds for what they love craze. But I also think that's a product of the times that we're now in, to where it's okay to be a nerd. It's okay to like anime. It's okay to love anime.
That shit changed right after I graduated. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dude.
Literally like the year after I graduated, it felt like
slight segue. It's like every time I go to the store, like how much production of just game memorabilia and clothing is peddled out now compared to like when we were the boys' age, which is 9 and 10, is insane. Like Fortnite shirts, Minecraft shirts, Super Smash Bros, Mario, like all that stuff. Like, dude, you know how hard it was to find like anything that wasn't like niche to wear of the games that I liked growing up, man?
Or that wasn't like a kid size, like a 4T Pokemon shirt. And you're like, I'm 10. Like, I can't fit in it.
Exactly.
You were going into like Hot Topic and shit before it was trendy to do so, and like you were fucking weirdo. And
Hot Topic back when they were blasting really like esoteric death metal and stuff, and you're like,
yeah. You're going into like Warehouse Music before they were bought out by FYE and shit.
You're back when EB Games still existed.
Yeah. Like, and even then, like EB Games sold.
Yeah.
Kids, brace yourselves. Video games.
it was a dark time for the people who loved.
It was a dark time.
Loved the stuff that the general culture was like, oh, this is stupid. You're too old to like this stuff. You're not going to make any money off of it. Oh, God. And I was so pissed when esports broke off and like made billions and billions of dollars. And now like they're giving scholarships for esports teams.
I think for me, I like sitcoms just in general. I kind of like you, Jordan. Like it's a great um genre of show to just kind of put on the background and not really pay attention to, but like generally enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sitcom that I can relate to in some way, like whether or not they're well written and the jokes are funny and this, that, and the other. Like we could have that conversation, I guess. But the point for me is like I just like sitcoms in general, and so there's not really, even to this day, another sitcom about nerds just being fucking nerds. Like that's what Big Bang Theory is about. It's just like 5, 6 nerds just being fucking nerdy all the time.
Yeah.
And like I guess we could have a conversation about quality, but it's a sitcom.
Yeah. And like the best part like about it is it wasn't far out there. And throughout its run, it was like, for the all intents and purposes, grounded. Like the
Yeah.
first nerd that became so popular that it took over the show was to my knowledge was Steve Urkel.
Yeah. Yeah.
To where he literally took over the show after I think it was like season 3 or 4.
Hold on,
And then,
boys. Hold on.
Okay.
Important notice. Amazon finally updated my order. We're getting it day one, baby. PS5 day one. Let's go. Let's go. No more ambiguity. We're getting it. Let's go.
fucking hate you so much.
I'm sorry, you were talking about Steve Urkel?
Anyways, such a fucking bitch, dude. You're such a bitch.
Dude, this is a big moment for me. I've just been watching it because they sent
Yeah,
out that
for
email
you,
to
not for everyone else, for you.
Well, I mean, me and like a few million other people who actually got a pre-order, but like my point is like Amazon's been a bitch about this where they sent out that email to everybody like you may not get this day one, we're just letting you know. So for them to finally update and be like, you're getting it day one, my boy. I'm like, okay, now we can get hyped.
Stupid, we're happy now. Fuck you. After you got all of your PS5 accessories and everything.
I did too. I almost bought a PS5 controller just to have one. Do you know that shit works on PS3?
What?
You can use a PS5 controller on PS3. It doesn't work on PS4, but it works on PS3.
Wait, a PS5 controller doesn't work on PS4, but it works on PS3.
That's correct.
How does... You know what? We're not going to get into it. That's for another show. All right.
Yes, Steve Urkel.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, like, it's just... You are right, Dean. There isn't a show where it actually celebrates nerds until Big Bang Theory. Like, most of the time, in a lot of shows, there's always the nerdy friend or person who has nerd tendencies or infatuations that is made fun of by everyone else, but it's never they've never been celebrated as much as Big Bang Theory. And I applaud the show for doing that. I mean, the show is good to a certain point. It's funny, but after that, like as a lot of shows, it goes on for too long and runs out of material. Although the characters like Bernadette, what's Sheldon's girlfriend's name?
Amy.
Bernadette and Amy are probably some of the best characters on that show.
Howard's
actually
pretty good too.
Howard's good.
Raj might be the best male character on that show.
Raj is a sleeper, but I think Bernadette and Amy are probably the best characters on that show, especially from where they started at to where they ended. And like
Bernadette's my favorite character, full stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I mean. Like there was some really good writing and development for those characters. But anyways, as a guilty pleasure, I guess I can kind of accept that. That's fine. I actually thought you were going to say a different show. I thought you were going to say Lost or something like that.
I do like Lost though.
But but like again, like that's totally fine. Jordan, what's your pick?
I don't really have a show that I go back to that's like universally frowned upon. Dean is right.
Jesus Christ!
Like,
Put down your monocles,
Well,
you classy SOBs.
It's not even like a pompous thing. It's just like we just
Like,
don't watch shows that are like I can't
Alright.
speak for Jordan, but like for me, I don't have time for TV in general.
I
So
got
like
it.
the shows that I'm watching right now are The Boys. Everybody fucking loves The Boys.
Fuck yeah, they do.
Man in the High Castle. Everybody fucking loves Man in the High Castle.
To be honest with you, like it's a slow starter for me. I'm going to like restart watching it after I'm done with my anime, but like I couldn't get into it yet. I'm sorry. Go on.
I mean, and that's fine, but like the general consensus, it's a great show. The Mandalorian, everybody loves The Mandalorian. Like these are the kind of shows that I watch because I need to suss out the bullshit because I don't have time for
Gotcha.
hour-long episodes week after week after week or whatever it is. So like that's what it is for me.
Okay.
Maybe if we had this conversation like 10 years ago, that would be different. But today, like I got a family and a mortgage and like all this, like I just don't have that kind of time.
yeah, and for me, like Dean's right. I love sitcoms. I love them. They're warm, they're fuzzy, they're funny, they're cute. You connect. A good sitcom lets you connect and grow with the characters, and I love the big ones, right? I love The Office, Parks and Rec, Community, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love a lot of the '90s ones. I love Seinfeld.
You basically love a specific type of showrunner, from what I just heard right there.
What do you mean?
Parks and Rec's Community, and The Office share
The same
showrunner slash like very closely working with showrunners and executives.
Yeah, I think the same guy worked really closely with all three of them. But
Yes.
yeah, those are three examples. But I also love some throwback sitcoms. Like I love Cheers. I love I love
Everybody
Frasier.
knows your name.
Like I love Cheers. I watched 2 years,
Cheers,
two or three years ago when they put Cheers and Frasier. I love Frasier on Netflix. I watched all of Cheers, all 11 seasons of Cheers, and then all 9, I think, seasons of Frasier straight through. It took me like 6 fucking months to do it. And I watched 30 years of people's lives throughout this, and it was not every show is a banger, dude. Not every episode. It's 11 seasons of 24 episodes, right?
Dude, yeah, back when broadcast syndication did the 20 to 22 episode seasons.
And that was back in the 80s where like they said and did some pretty questionable shit, for 2020. But I love those shows. I love Seinfeld. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I just love sitcoms. So if I ever had to fall and default onto something that I grew up with, if I had to pick one, so if I had to pick a sitcom to live with, I think it would probably for me be The Office. Even though I've watched The Office,
you mean the American Office too?
Yes, put your monocle down. But like,
God,
I do love The Office. I've watched it at least 7, 8. I'm one of those fucking people, dude. But but I don't just watch The Office. Like, the fact that I love The Office is not my personality, right? Like, there are people out there that are like, oh my god, The Office is so funny. I love Dwight and Jeffrey. You mean Jim? Yeah, but I go back to it if I want to just throw something on that's easy, right? But there's a lot of other sitcoms. There's a lot, and The Office is incredible. But there are a lot of other sitcoms that I do love, and I think a sleeper sitcom that more people need to watch is The Community. The Community is fucking hilarious.
Oh, The Community's great. I started watching that shit on a whim, and I fell in love with it. Like, dude, Donald Glover.
Oh my god,
genius!
Well,
he's so good.
I love him.
What's his counterpart in Community? I don't know the actor's name.
Ahmed.
Yes,
the actor's name I don't know. I know the character's name.
But them two together, magic. Straight magic.
Troy and Abed in the morning. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love The Community.
So John, since you like to talk shit on what we watch, what's your answer to the question, man?
See, that's the worst part. Is like I really can't talk. Like if you pay attention closely, I didn't talk shit about the shows. It's just like those are shows that literally anybody, like near like the general populace, will be like, okay, that's a good show. Like you won't like say that in a room and everybody's just like, oh, you're a fucking loser for watching that. Let me show how you.
I don't know
pompous
about the
ass-
rooms. I don't know the rooms that you're in, but like I've never been in a room where I'm like, I love Big Bang Theory, and everybody's just like, yes, yes. Everybody's like throwing shit at me and sharp objects.
There's going to be enough people in that room that just be like, yeah, Big Bang Theory is all right. Like it's basically like you'll get like it's a coin toss if someone hates it or loves it. But let me show you how you 1%ers like what I mean.
1%.
My guilty pleasure is Hercules: The Legendary Journeys.
Ooh, I like Hercules.
I mean,
That
you
is
win.
my guilty pleasure. Like straight up, all 6 seasons. Got it on my computer right now, and I will watch that motherfucker like eyes glued. I don't just like put it on and just like have it in the background. I watch that motherfucker.
Is it
John,
worth watching right now?
Yes.
Someone brand
It's
new.
even it gets better with time. That's the best part. It gets better
John,
of how horrible the effects are.
do you know how I feel about that choice, man?
Please tell me.
Disappointed!
It's so good. There's so many good things to meme about in that show and just be like, wow, they really did this. And the crazy thing about that is like in that show, there was so much highbrow talent starting off that it is mind blowing. Like, and like they like a lot of the people that worked on that show branched off and made like cult classics and a lot of other good television shows. But like, dude, Hercules' Legendary Journey is just delicious. So good. So fucking.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's obviously not a competition, but like,
No, I get it. But like what I'm saying is like the way I see it, like again, I'm not faulting you for your choices and like I understand why you made those choices. But what I'm saying is like I can go into random places and talk to people and it's just like, oh, like you'll get like maybe 1 or 2 people like, oh, I love that show, or oh, that show's amazing. But if I were to just like drop in the middle of you motherfuckers like, I love Hercules and Legendary Journeys, it's like either people are gonna be like, never watched it, that show was terrible, or like, like I kinda remember it. That's what I'm talking about. But again,
that's where I fall into, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of remember Hercules.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like that's what I equate it to being a guilty pleasure. Is like something that is like not super well known,
I guess
or just generally hated. But again, I don't fault you for your choices because of like why you watch television or what you decide to watch. Like I'm not faulting you for that.
I just really don't know who you kick it with because like I said multiple times, like I've never in my life met somebody who doesn't like lose respect for me when I tell them that I like Big Bang Theory. Like straight up. Like just listen to Jordan's pompous ass over here. He's the whitest guy I know, and immediately he's like, you should probably go to hell for that.
And I love sitcoms, and I really don't like Big Bang Theory at all. I really don't.
But I love sitcoms too, Jordan. But like,
listening,
I actually like Big Bang Theory up until a point. That's how I
listening to your example of why you love Hercules reminded me of actually something that is older, that is kind of hidden, that would also be considered for me a guilty pleasure as well. It's just I seldom go back to it now, but I did watch a lot of it obviously when I was younger and then many years ago too, but I haven't had a resurgence in a few years to watch it. But that would for me that would be Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude.
Okay.
That's a terrible choice.
Yeah.
That's a cult classic.
everybody fucking loves that.
No
But, like,
one
again,
knows,
not faulting
like,
you for it.
outside of like
No, a lot of
outside
people
of
do.
people in
A lot
the
of
like
people.
nerdy community or like the just like our community, like
There's a
people don't usually
reason-
know what the hell that is. I brought it up multiple
Trust me,
times, but people
there's a
don't know what it
reason
is.
why. Dude, there's a reason why people like it got a resurgence on Netflix.
Ooh, pick me. I got one.
Okay, all right.
I still love me some Power Rangers.
That's
bro.
what I thought you were gonna pick, to be
Dude.
honest.
Like,
Okay,
anybody over the age of 5 is not gonna roll with me on that one.
That's totally fine. But like, you branched it off into like you watched what it was based off of. Like, but I get it. Like, dude, I will say, like, I would sit down and watch some Power
Bro,
Rangers Wild Force.
I would
do
wait.
it.
Yes.
Wait,
yes, it's my
is that the
favorite
one with the
season,
American
bro.
Ranger?
No, that's not the
no,
Wild
no,
Force
okay.
one. No,
I love that
like,
American Ranger.
From me personally, Wild Force is probably the best season and the best theme song.
It's definitely like probably one of the worst seasons from like a narrative structure standpoint,
Narrative
character development standpoint.
Yeah,
like
but
everything about it's bad, but the way that it's presented is so good.
So
dude.
great. Yeah,
And that theme song's a banger, dude.
It really is.
I'm already
I'm
listening
gonna
to
link it to you so you can listen to it.
Dude.
Oh, okay, good, good, excellent.
And for anybody and everybody who's listening, I hate Friends.
I'd never seen Friends, but I hate Seinfeld.
I mean, that's
like-
fighting words for me. I love Seinfeld is
I'm
dear
actually-
to me. I don't like Friends.
Dude,
but I love Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I can't stand how Friends became literally a staple for a lot of households. Like, it's super ridiculous
You know what else
how popular Friends became.
You know what else I'd probably call a guilty pleasure? Like, it's, I don't know that it's universally considered bad. I would actually venture to guess most people who actually watch this shit love it to pieces. But Good Eats from Food
Alton
Network.
Brown, like his
I
original
love that
like
show.
late 90s
Yeah.
show, right? Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. I fucking love that show. I learned how to cook a lot of shit from that show, and I learned some science.
Yeah, like, Alton Brown's freaking amazing. There was another show kind of like that, but he literally went over the science of food. Like, he picked one food and he went over like all the scientific reasons of why you should cook it a certain way, and like he did it with beef, and it was just freaking
Good
amazing.
Eats. You're describing Good Eats. Like
not Good Eats.
Is
it
Good
wasn't.
Eats.
I understand that, but it was another guy. It wasn't Alton Brown. It was another guy.
Oh, another guy. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, fuck you. Like,
I don't know.
Sorry,
it's
I
on
missed
my
that
computer.
part.
That doesn't
It's
really
on my
sound like
computer.
my favorite Food Network personality. Guy Fieri, who changed the Food Network as we know it.
Okay, cool. So
Next
Jordan, what's your
time!
topic?
Hey guys, we're serving up some wild wings here. Fucking love Guy Fieri.
Jesus Christ. No, I will say I had his food on a cruise ship, and actually, burgers and fries was fucking amazing.
Wow, burgers and fries. That man is
No.
going out on limbs.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, fuck you, because just getting a burger and fry at any place can be vastly different. So fuck you for saying that. You know exactly what I meant when I said what I said.
I've actually. So there's a place called Metro Diner near where I live. Dean, you may know it. It is now a franchise, kind of, or there's at least just multiple locations. Anyway, in one of his early episodes of Triple D, I just did a gang sign. You didn't see it. Anyway, so in one of his early episodes, he went to the original Metro Diner in Jacksonville and made like an episode about it, right? And they have a Metro Diner near where I live, and I love their shrimp and grits. It is delicious because they have a unique take on the grits. They're like fried grit patties, and they have a delicious a white gravy sauce that has some heat to it with the shrimp and scallions on top. It is awesome. So he got that right, and I enjoy it definitely. I really do enjoy it. But he also
Yeah, but what about that chicken and waffles with the spicy syrup, bro?
dude, I would love to go back to that half house and eat that shit, man.
Wait, spicy syrup? Like we talking about red chili flakes in the syrup or something?
Oh no,
Dude,
they step it
my
up a hell of a
God.
notch over that.
Oh
It's so
Jesus
It's
good.
Christ!
so good, dude.
I
They
need to
put
have this.
they put legit hot sauce in their shit. Like it's banging.
I was just so stunned the first time that we had it. You remember, like I was
Dude,
flabbergasted.
she asked you if you wanted the spicy syrup, and you were just like, I don't know how to respond to this question.
Right?
Yeah, duh.
On a real note though, Jordan, what did
Real.
you bring to the table this week?
So we'll bring it back. We'll get a little more serious, right?
I
My
guess.
topic. I want. I guess.
Jordan's like, so what do you guys think about me being the Spook Pope?
So like what? Like no, never mind. Anyway, so
Nailed it.
where? How do I want to phrase this? At what
Oh,
point
no.
in your? I know, right? I'm totally unprepared. At what point in your life, or at what measure, do you call yourself successful? Like,
Ooh.
when do you think you're going to reach a point in your life, or if you've already reached it, describe that, and then how do you define yourself, like personally, success? Like, at what point or what milestone would you have reached, or will you reach, which will allow you to just reflect upon yourself and go, I am successful, to say that about yourself? Like, what is that point? Like, what does that mean to you?
So I actually have an answer to this question, but it's unconventional.
That's fine.
Um, because at this point, I would have given you a vastly different answer a few years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
at this point, success to me looks like I raise my children to be functioning members of society. Like that's what that
Oh my
looks like.
god. I can relate to that so hard right
Right? Like it's just
Yeah.
like right now what I do and what I accomplish doesn't even matter anymore. It's what can I impart upon my son and any other children I may or may not have and make them the best that they can be.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with that 100%. Like my life was vastly different 2 years ago. And like I align with that way of thinking so much that it hurts. On like to the point where I was like literally was like, okay, you're done with all the development that you need. There's nothing really that you need to do. You like now it's all about providing for the family and giving them the best that you can offer without turning them into like spoiled pieces of shit. Full
Right.
stop.
Right.
Like and
It's
like
this
you
weird
don't
balancing act where like you
yeah.
want to give them everything that you possibly can, but also not turn them into a spoiled piece of shit.
Yeah, like you have to give them like you have to like measure what you give them and like they need to learn that they need to appreciate it. It's like what like some of them are just like what does even appreciation mean? Like what are you even talking about? Literally, oh god, this is so relevant. So when I was cooking dinner, um I was talking with Kim on the phone, my fiance, while she was on the way home, and I literally said out loud, I was like, the boys don't know how lucky they have it for everything that they have in the house. And Isaiah, who I just got through like telling him no, he can't play video games for the rest of the night because of the way that he was like asking me over and over again, oh, can I play this game? Can I play this game? Can I play this game? And I was like, I literally said, no, you can't play video games, but you can watch TV. and he went through every list of video game that we have in the house, asking if he could play it individually. And I was just like, fuck it. No video games for you. So then I say, the boys don't know how good they have it. And he hears this coming down the stairs. And he's like, we're not lucky. And I literally like lost my shit. I literally was like, do you understand that you have more right now at 9 years old than I did when I was 21 with my own money and job? Like, you guys have your own TV, multiple gaming consoles, your own laptops, your own desks and beds in your room, and multitudes of electronics, along with streaming services to where you can pause these amazing shows so you don't miss any content. Like, y'all remember Saturday morning cartoons? Like, if you had to go to the bathroom or missed a show, that's it. You have to wait till it decides to show on another network at another time to catch up on what happened.
Your mom's like, all right, we gotta go. And you're like, no, there's like 10 minutes left. Like, I gotta stay. Like, we're going now.
Exactly.
Get your shit together.
Like, these two, like, literally, he's going, like, Isaac's going upstairs to take a shower, and he's like, can I pause it? And I was like, dude, you could just rewatch the episode again. It's there for you all time. Like, I don't know why. I was like, that's why I said, you guys don't know how good you had it. And, like, literally, I went on a tangent with them because I was like, you guys throw a fit when I say to no to one thing, but you have so much that, honestly, you should never be bored in this house. But you act like if you don't get this one thing, it's the end of the world. So you just have sour grapes for everything else that's offered you, which is a horrible mindset to have. And I literally told them, I was like, if this happens again, I'm taking everything away from you for a month, and then you're just going to have to learn to appreciate it after that. Because, again, after a month of not having all of this glorious technology that you have been accustomed to and are taking for granted, you will appreciate it after that. And, like, that's the level of, like, that I'm at when I make the choices on how to discipline the children or talk to them. And, like, Dean's been on the phone with me multiple times when I'm having these dealings with these kids.
It's funny how, like, it's funny how the discipline is just living how we used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Their discipline is the good life for us.
Yeah, dude. It's so crazy. Like, I can count on one time that I've, like, given them a spanking, and, like, on one hand. And in my household, like, the shit that they do, if they were growing up with my father and my mother in their time, whew, they wouldn't survive. There'd be tombstones in the backyard. Like, what happened to the boys? What boys? We didn't have boys. What?
Unmarked graves.
Yeah. But to circle back, like, yeah, I'm aligned with Dean on how I measure success. Like, as an individual, I feel I'm very successful, and, like, I took a hard turn when I was about 23. Like, I used to work as basically a day laborer in the port of Long Beach, working for minimum wage, praying that I get to work on weekends, coming home so tired that I just go in the house and go straight to sleep, blowing my snot and having black boogers from all the dust that I was inhaling, to now I'm a software engineer making really good money, able to provide and not really worry that much. But now it's, like, at the level to where, like, we need to get a house, we need to pay for a wedding, new car. Like, when are we gonna get that? Like, it's grown up shit. But measuring my success at this point in time in my life is now tethered to my children's development and how well I did. And, like, the worst part is, like, you never know how well you did with your children until they grow up. So you can only do the best you can, and you don't know how they're going to interpret what you think is in their best interests, because that's the amazing thing about just humans in general. You can put multiple human beings in the same situation and they will interpret it and use it differently. And that's what you really have to watch. But again, circling back, success is tethered to my children. And like the amount of money you make is whatever. What you do with that money is the real deciding factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, incredible. So I can't have that perspective because I don't have kids yet, right? Like I definitely understand. Like, it's so cliche, and I know you guys probably felt this way before you had kids too. It's like, oh, everything changes, like everything's different, your priorities change. It's like, all right, we get it, right? And you don't really understand it until it happens. So I'm waiting for that, right? For that possible future. And right now, like being 30, like I have a really hard time defining success for myself. Because
that's the whole point.
Yeah, well, it's because my goalposts keep moving. So if I get something that I want, or if I achieve something, then I'm looking further down the hill, right? Then I'm looking at the next goal, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And it definitely is a huge stressor. There's no like overarching goal to it all, right? Like I feel like kids give a grand perspective on life.
Yeah, grand scheme of things, and they give you a path that you want to lead to. That's
like mine, like my path is just to like right now it's just YOLO, like make money, be dope, It's just like buy cool shit, pay off debt, question mark profit. There's no like
a ball.
Like there's no there's no overarching exactly. Like, there's no overarching goal.
Defining factor for success. And like I'll say this to you now, Jordan, like that's not necessarily a bad thing. Honestly, I would say complacency is probably the worst thing that you can have in your situation.
It is. And I've like, you are absolutely right, because I've been complacent before. I know what that feels like to not to like I know what it feels like to not be successful and still be complacent. Right? Like that's a that's a black hole of a life. And and like looking at others that are struggling going through that period in their life, or some people just never get out of it. I don't know, like it's so hard to tell people that it gets better, to work harder, to find to find better opportunities, to focus on other things. Like, but if they're in that position, it just seems like that's all that there is, right? And some people eventually trudge through life and find great missions. I'm not going to be a politician. I'm not going to be in any position right now. Like I don't have the drive to lead a philanthropic effort to cure, AIDS or something like that. like
thank God.
Like my wife, Lauren, does a significant amount of nonprofit work, and she does a lot of philanthropic things. Like that's her true north. That's what gives her purpose, is that kind of stuff, is giving back, right? I don't have that. I'm just an asshole, right? So like my only measure of success is how well can I position her to be successful, right? Like that's usually my main goal, is can I give her more so she can be successful? And like we still don't know if we're going to have kids or not. So it quickly becomes an existential thought where it's like, well, how am I going to define my life's work, or how am I going to define my life outside of the possibility of never having children, right? Because like my legacy is not going to live on in my deadbeat cats, assholes. Right? and yeah,
You're right
and then
about that.
It's just hard to it's hard to grasp. And when you're younger, like when I was younger, I was I was in a band, I was smoking weed, drinking all the time, like looking for women. Like I didn't give a shit. Like my life was tomorrow, right? Like that was my life. It's like, dude, my life's crazy, dude. I think I'm gonna wake up and try the new Wendy's breakfast, and then I'm gonna get and then I'm gonna get high with Rob, and then we're gonna go to band practice, and then dude, I'm texting this girl. Like that was my life. Like my success was I bought lunch at Wendy's, I'm texting a girl, and I'm high. Like that was how I measured success when I was 20. You know, but it's so much more complicated now because weed's not legal here. I mean, because it's you know, because
Oh, it's legal a lot of places now.
yeah,
Oh my God.
Oregon's a fucking free for all now, man.
Cali?
But it's just harder and harder to find purpose. Not purpose. Purpose is a bad way to put it. To find success. I have plenty of purpose, but
To define success,
yeah,
like an actual goal. Yes.
yeah, like what I don't have is that new measure, right? So like
Mhm.
now, I've positioned Lauren as much as I could, you know, like back in college, new position, trying to get her as successful as possible. But now it's like, well, my mom, she's kind of on hard times, and it's like, okay, well, I want, you know, like I want the best for her. So now it's like, well, I don't make enough money to buy her all the things that she needs, like like a fucking Black Hawk helicopter that just flew over John's house. But it's like that. But that can't be my next goal to be successful, because that's like in that rut, in that rat race, you know, you end up destroying yourself. Like I work so much
Yeah.
that I'm starting to realize if I keep this up for too long, I'm just going to not enjoy life, and I'm just going to be successful. Like I'm just going to be successful for the sake of being like externally successful, right? And it's just it's challenging to try and find that, well, I'm happy here, right? Like to try to find that ultimate goal.
Mhm.
So we'll see, but I wanted to know what it was like from your perspectives, right? Like as fathers,
Yeah.
how do you see that, right? So it's definitely interesting seeing the difference in perspectives.
Yeah, and I'll say this, like, if nothing else, focus on being debt free and saving your money. Like that way you can at least like live the most out of your life, or you just have the possibility or bandwidth to do whatever you want to do without any real hindrance. I would say that.
Yeah, and I think that you're absolutely right. I mean, I was just on blackhawkhelicopters.com, and I did just add it to my cart.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I found a good used 2008 model. Oh, there it is, right there. They're shipping it right now. They're shipping it right now.
Cargo plane
Here we
coming
go.
over right now. Amazon real good.
Real good, yeah. Oh man.
I will say that I'm super glad that you brought up Wendy's, Jordan, because my next topic
Jesus Christ
is gonna bring down the house.
Let's do it.
God damn it.
Let's get funky.
I fucking hope that everybody remembers this showdown that me and John had like 2 months ago on our first round table. But it's going down right fucking now.
Ding, ding, ding,
McDonald's
ding,
v
ding,
Burger
ding, ding,
King.
ding, ding, ding.
So, this is what we did. Me and John got together and we created a few categories. And we created matchups within those categories for menu items on McDonald's and on Burger King.
Yep.
And we went to both locations, got one of each, ate them side by side, compared them, took notes, and we have verdicts. I have no idea what John wrote down for his verdicts on anything. I didn't tell him my opinions. He didn't tell me his. We're going to hash it out right now for the first time.
Yo, it's like my own personal GMM episode. What a surprise. Let's do it.
So, our hyped. 5 categories are breakfast items.
Yep, of course.
Chicken.
Yep.
Burgers and fries.
Together? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Though. Like, the burgers will be with burgers, fries will be with fries.
Okay.
Drinks.
Yep.
And then special consideration items. So we each picked something off of the respective menus and said, like, this is something that we have to try that doesn't really fit neatly into any of the other categories. And so we'll just match those up. And immediately I have thoughts about how that particular part went, but we'll get to that later.
So let me understand the scope of this, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you did not purchase and try every item, correct?
Not every single item on the menu, no.
You just
But what we specifically agreed upon, yeah.
Yeah, but fuck, it's a lot. So
We
did-
basically almost did.
Yeah, we did signature items in every category. We did specialty items in any category, which would be something that like you can't really get at the competitor. And then what was the other thing that we did in every category, John? Was it
It was
I think that's
comparative
it, actually.
items, yeah, and then it was like a specialty item that like
yeah,
they
yeah.
both
Some
had.
categories just had more
and
than
then
one.
and then
like,
the
concrete
layman's
item.
items in each category. Like with breakfast, you always get a hash brown, so we did the hash browns. With
Right.
chicken, you always get chicken nuggets, so we did the nuggets.
Yeah,
Fries is fries.
We'll
Yeah,
break all that
kind
down.
of stuff.
We'll break all that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point is, like, if there was something that like we had to have, then we did that. And if there was something that was like only at Burger King, only at McDonald's, we did that too. So, starting at breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
our first matchup. Ding 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 ding.
Stupid.
Stupid.
Actually, I think the best place to start with breakfast, and my first note was with the OJ. You got to have OJ with your breakfast, right?
Yeah.
You had an orange juice
So-
category?
Yes.
I mean, not
You
so much
have-
category as much as
It's
it's
like
in breakfast.
every-
like it's just a
Yeah.
functional part of breakfast. You know?
Yeah, because I actually don't drink coffee, so the next best thing was OJ, which I always get with breakfast.
Yeah, I tried to get him to
Always.
do the coffee. He wasn't having it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would basically say they both taste like shit. I none of them is a winner. I'm burning that category.
Right. So, OJ, what do you got, John? Because I have like a really clear comment on this one, but I'm interested to see if you have the same comment. I hope you do.
So when I got my breakfast items and OJ, I noticed two things. So when it came, like, first of all, they were both from the same manufacturer. They're both from Minute Maid.
Yes.
And for Burger King, they actually give you the outright straight up carton. And
Yes.
with McDonald's, they use a bag of concentrate. So
Do they use concentrate, or are you just assuming?
I'm assuming that they're using Minute Maid manufactured concentrate, because I've seen them replenish that orange juice bag, and it's just a clear ass bag full of orange juice that I think is concentrate.
Okay. Well,
I might be
regardless of
wrong.
what,
Yeah.
regardless of whether it's concentrate or not, thoughts?
Yeah, it's orange juice. So, in a nutshell, McDonald's won that category for me because, like, it was a little bit sweeter and juicier per se. Like basically the way I saw it, the concentrate was better at McDonald's than it was at Burger King.
So my feelings on this matter are it's the same fucking juice. But
I get it, yes.
But the fact that you get it in a cup at McDonald's, so you can have sizes as opposed to like you just get this little bullshit carton,
Yeah.
like you're in the
Yeah.
third grade again. That's slight edge to McDonald's. At the end of the day, like there's no quality difference in my opinion. It just is what it is. But
Yeah.
slight edge, so because you can pick sizes.
I know. That's why, I don't know. For me, like, it was an actual taste thing, and I don't know. Maybe it's because there was more juice from McDonald's, but whatever. McDonald's wins just purely off of the size offerings that it can give. So
Let's McDonald. You know what? I'm gonna have a winners and losers category going on over here. So McDonald's. Okay.
Before we continue,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
if I remember, John was more a Burger King guy and you're more a McDonald's guy, right?
Yes, that's how we started.
Oh yes,
this,
okay.
yes.
Actually, I found another Burger King guy, which surprised me the other day.
You found the other one?
I found the only other Burger King proprietor in the continental United States. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy how many restaurants they built for 2 people.
Hey,
man.
You son of a
always
bitch.
got to be available.
Yeah, after you figured out that McDonald's is fucking losing stock and shit, whatever, it's fine.
Anyway, hash browns.
Hash browns. So
wait, can I weigh in on these if I know them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You can offer your opinion.
All right, I'm gonna give my opinion first because I have my opinion is gonna be the fastest, right?
Sure.
So, I think McDonald's has better hash browns.
Based on what? I mean, you could say I don't know. I just feel like they do.
I prefer the form factor of McDonald's hash browns. I love the puck. And they also tend to be less greasy than Burger King's. Burger King sometimes, like Chick-fil-A, I feel, sometimes just devolves into a little carton of grease, and it's just too much. But I think McDonald's sometimes nails it with those hash browns, and I think they edge over for me.
Okay. What'd you think, John?
I actually
Are you going with the McDonald's puck or the Burger King rounds?
Honestly, I went with the Burger King rounds because the puck is good, but I had the opposite opinion of greasiness. Like, usually, since it's a puck and it's bigger, it usually has more grease. And, like, the one that I got definitely did. And then just the rounds are just bite-sized little pieces of heaven, deliciousness. And, you could, like...
Little pieces of heaven.
Yep. Slather on, like, whatever, like, ketchup, sauce, or whatever. Dip them in barbecue sauce. It's not awkward to dip them in barbecue sauce. Like,
I like how you immediately defended it when nobody said anything.
It's fine. And it's just, like, the size and the form of the hash browns are better. And, like, in my opinion, you get more for your money. So, like, that, it was just better to me for the Burger King hash browns.
So this is how it boils down for me. I prefer the little rounds to the puck.
Gotcha.
However, while the McDonald's puck, the hash brown puck, is nice and crispy, it's bland and greasy. But the Burger King rounds are soggy and bland. And I'm going to take crispy and bland over soggy and bland.
I can respect that.
At the end of the day, for me, this is a tie. Like, they both suck in their own ways.
That's fine. I can respect that. Because the ones that I got were crispy and delicious. Like, both of them were crispy. It's just McDonald's was greasier. But, like, when you get crispy nugget rounds, bro, that's heaven. It's heaven.
So, now we get into the good shit. So,
oh, God.
First item that both places had that we got was the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Jordan, do you have your little opinion to weigh in on these?
If I remember correctly, I've always thought that McDonald's biscuits were better. So I'm gonna go McDonald's on this, but Burger King has my favorite breakfast item. But in this category, the biscuit, I'm gonna give it to McDonald's.
Okay. John?
So when it came down to this, it literally was who had the better biscuit. And for me, who loves him some biscuits, especially when they homemade, Burger King blew McDonald's out the water. Just for the fact, one, McDonald's did have the bigger biscuit, but it was not the better biscuit. So if you give me more of inferior product, it actually takes away from the sandwich as a whole. Like, Burger King's biscuits taste closer to homemade than McDonald's biscuits do. I don't know if that's because they're in California or whatever, but, like, I got a thicker, inferior biscuit compared to a smaller, better biscuit, which made the sandwich as a whole better.
So this is what I will tell you. I took notes on every part of this fucking sandwich.
I love it.
So, first and foremost, Burger King has better sausage, just full stop. Like, it's not even a question. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Burger King sausage is awesome. McDonald's sausage exists. The cheese is irrelevant. Like, it's cheese. It's not
just
Just
whatever.
American, yeah.
Like, unless it's bad, like, there's no real reason to talk about the cheese. Or if it's like a different type
Right.
of cheese, like if they just like
Right.
decided to throw on pepper jack
Or-
or like Asiago or some shit.
Or what comes up a little bit later, the cheese makes an impact on the item itself, which
Mm-hmm.
this is not the case.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but continue.
As far as the eggs go,
Mm-hmm.
the eggs are definitely better at McDonald's. Like, Burger King's eggs were like almost undercooked and runny when they should be solid egg.
Firm. Yeah, like I don't know. I
Right.
remember you talking about your service at Burger King, and I am
Oh.
sorry.
Oh, bro,
I'm
we're gonna get
so
into that.
sorry.
Like, when we get through all the items, I got thoughts on fucking Burger King as an establishment. But
All right,
that's
all right.
neither here nor there right now. As
Okay.
far as the biscuit goes,
Yeah.
McDonald's biscuit is big, thick, and hard. No homo. But also more biscuit-y is the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah, I got you.
Burger King's biscuit, though, is crumbly and buttery and delicious, frankly.
Yes.
But I have to say that, like, the way my biscuit crumbled apart in my hands made it almost
Impossible.
it made it harder to eat it.
Yeah.
And for a sandwich, especially, like, if I imagine that I'm grabbing some Burger King breakfast on my way to work in the morning, if that thing is disintegrating in my hand, I'm gonna have a bad morning.
Yeah.
So I think that it tastes better, but it's a worse biscuit. So for me,
It's a worse biscuit as a bun. I'll say that.
Right. Like, if I was just eating a biscuit, maybe that would be a different story, but we're talking about a sandwich. And so the biscuit has to hold together as a sandwich, which it doesn't.
Yeah, I got you.
So for all those reasons, I give a slight edge to McDonald's, but only slightly. Like, Burger King as a composition of flavor is better, but McDonald's
Mhm.
made a better product given what the goal was, if that makes sense.
Yes. And like, again, I can respect you for that opinion. I can't really butt heads with you on that. It's just, man, those biscuits are so good.
They are pretty good.
That's what edged it out for me. Like, it was definitely like, the bite that I got from McDonald's biscuit sandwich is like, it was way too much biscuit, and it wasn't fluffy enough that I had to work through the biscuit to get to the rest of the flavor.
Right.
Which is my problem.
Specialty matchup of breakfast was the McGriddle versus the croissant witch. Jordan?
I think the McGriddle is going to win for you guys, but I love the croissant witch. I love it. Sausage, egg, and cheese croissant witch is my jam. So I'm going BK on this one.
Dude, we got the fully loaded croissant.
That's a thing?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got the fully loaded croissant witch and the sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle.
There's so many different parts of pig in that
Welcome
sandwich.
to Burger King. We got the fully loaded croissant witch. We got bacon, egg, cheese, goat milk,
It's a whole pig on.
We have your
the
ancestors'
croissant.
expectations of their
I'm
future
surprised they
kin.
didn't put fucking slow roasted pork butt in that shit. Jesus Christ.
So, what'd you think, John?
I already knew who was gonna win this category. It might be nostalgia or whatever, but like, the McGriddle won out because it's just such a symphony of flavor in that, and it's like everything that I love. In that, just that one bite, it's just so good. Like, those things are like crack to me. I'm not gonna lie, the fully loaded croissant, which was alright.
What
like,
constitutes
I might
fully
get
loaded?
it again. Fully loaded.
Let me pull it up really quick.
I believe. Let's see.
It comes with sausage, egg, ham, bacon, cheese.
I
So
think
many different things. So much pork. Oh my god! But I mean, it wasn't bad. But like, the croissant wasn't super fluffy and stuff like that. It was just there to hold the sandwich together. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. But a McGriddle, I have never had a bad McGriddle. Let's put it like that. Like, I've had bad certain types of food, even at the same establishment that I order the same thing over and over again, but I've never had a bad McGriddle. It works so well together. Because, like, none of the flavors overpower each other. Like, even when you're talking about the fact that, like, they basically have pancakes for buns, still doesn't overpower, like, the melody of flavor that they put in that fucking thing. It's so good.
So, first of all, to your comment, actually, before I even get to that, this matchup's a fucking joke, dude. It's not even.
Yeah, I already know. I told you that. Like, I already knew
it. But I want to be clear. The fully loaded croissant, which is a good fucking sandwich. Like, that's a really good sandwich, and I would not feel bad about ordering that. Like, that's a great breakfast meal. But the McGriddle is fucking special, dude.
Yes.
Like, they caught lightning in a bottle with that sandwich. That thing is fucking incredible. The fact that we match this up isn't even fair. This is like,
it's not
prime
really not.
Mike Tyson versus a toddler.
Just punching babies in the face.
Just fucking biting ears off and shit. Like, he just doesn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's so unbelievably lopsided that, like, it kind of makes everything in this category before this irrelevant, because knowing that McDonald's has that, I'm going to go to McDonald's for breakfast 11 times out of 10 instead of Burger King.
All the time. I told you, it is cracked. I swear they probably put cocaine in the breading. I don't know. Probably.
So, next up, chicken.
Oh, let's this category this surprised the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie.
Did it? I actually wasn't surprised at all by this category. I'm interested. Well, there was one thing that surprised me, but we'll do that at the very end. So let's start with them chicken nugs.
Oh Jesus! So Jordan, you got to say on the
McDonald's,
nuggies?
100%.
Oh God, I'm so sorry that this
100%.
is happening. Oh shit.
Well, Hundy.
Oh,
go on. Speak, John.
So, like, this is not even a contest, because Burger King's, first of all, chicken nuggets are better consistency and their breading has better seasoning. There is no discussion on that. You can't even try and fight me. You can't.
In
even
the
try
last
and
few
convince
years,
me.
did they go through a campaign where they redid their chicken nuggets or something?
I don't know, but when I had them, way better breading, because like literally like McDonald's chicken nuggets is like one coat of breading and it's like very light, and they look like they're not even dipped in fryer, like they're
it's not food
almost. And like
delicious.
But Burger King's chicken nuggets on the other hand fucking got peppery delicious seasoning on that bitch. Looks like actual chicken nuggets. And I'm not even going to talk about the barbecue sauce because that's just unfair.
Okay, so this category is much like the previous one, where it's just a fucking joke. Burger King's nuggets are fucking terrible, dude. I don't know. What? You're out of your mind.
Whoa.
Burger King. Okay, so like, let's just put it out there that maybe my Burger King is manned by secret McDonald's employees that fuck everything up on purpose. But let's assume that that's not the case. my Burger King nuggets were soggy. They were
Oh
flavorless.
my god.
They
I
have a terrible consistency.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And as far as the sauce goes, they taste virtually the same. Burger King's just a little thicker. So,
oh my god,
McDonald's easily cleaned up this category. Like it was
even
a fucking
close.
embarrassment, dude. A fucking complete embarrassment.
I feel like someone heard us on the podcast and like just singled you out at Burger King. I feel like that's what's happening.
Like this is such a fucking mistake that
Not
Burger King even
close.
offers nuggets.
Like, dude, I even had Kim as a freaking control group.
Oh,
and
so did
she
I.
agreed. Like,
I had my wife as a control too. We agree on this 100%. The Burger King nuggets are fucking awful. They're so bad. I will put it to you this way. There's a good fucking reason that you were able to get like 100 Burger King nuggets for $10 a year ago or something like that. They're fucking not worth the contents that they're made out of, dude.
Not even. No, I'm sorry.
There are some things that are like greater than the sum of their parts. These are way less than the sum of their parts. These chickens should be fucking ashamed in their chicken heaven that they were turned into this bullshit.
I call fallacy. Like, no, this is bullshit. Like, I have no idea what they did to you at this Burger King, but it is a shame and a travesty, good sir.
Let's just move on because we're never going to agree on this one.
Look at the difference.
Wildly different opinions on this.
No, we had wildly different experiences.
That's what I meant to say, not opinions.
Look at the differences in the way that these chicken nuggies look. Like, you can tell that that's treated with love, peppered with happiness. Jesus Christ, man!
You're out of your mind, dude. They're
next category.
Bad. And
wow.
Before we move on, I also want to point out that like I expected that to happen because the last time I had Burger King nuggets, I threw them all away. I couldn't even fit, and that was the only thing I had to eat all day, and I still threw them away without eating.
Jesus Christ! All right, whatever.
So,
piece of shit.
Next. God damn, dude! I want to eat at your Burger King because it sounds like it's way better than mine.
You need to, bro. Like I told you, like I just make a U-turn at one street, and Burger King and McDonald's is on the same side of the street, one shot, 2 minutes away from the house.
Next category was Burger King's original chicken sandwich versus the McChicken sandwich.
I'm gonna have to go with Burger King's original mayonnaise sandwich.
I will point out sandwich. I will point out for this category before we even get into it, I ordered these with no mayonnaise because I don't want mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
I'm just
traditionally the Burger King chicken sandwich has a lot of mayo on it. And like I've had the McChicken and I think the Burger King's edges it out. I definitely think that there's just something classic about that torpedo-shaped chicken patty thing that is
almost hero sub-esque.
They just nail it. Like they just nail
it. John,
this one was closer than I would have liked it to be, because like after I tried the nuggets, I was like, there's no way like they would fuck up and like not do the same thing with
it's sandwich, very different.
Sandwich, yeah, it's a very different consistency, especially with like the mayonnaise and stuff like that. But it was a close match, but Burger King barely won because it's the seasoning and the breading of the chicken that wins it out. Like,
dude, what the fuck goes on at your Burger King? Like, how do we have such different experiences?
I'm just telling you, like, it's an instantaneous, like, just from the first bite, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is like what fried chicken is, how it's supposed to be breaded, how it's supposed to be seasoned. And like with McDonald's, like sometimes you get it crispy, but like the seasoning's not there for me. You know what I mean? Just not for my palate.
So, like, straight up, the McChicken sucks, dude. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's closer than you would like. It's not close at all. The classic Burger King chicken sandwich is way, way better than the McChicken. The McChicken is garbage.
Wait, hold on though. The McChicken is $1 right?
Yes.
Yes.
That does play in because I've pounded some dollar McChickens.
Well,
You pounded some dollar. That sounds. Oh God, phrasing.
I think the classic chicken sandwich.
No
is
way.
$1 now too, though.
No fucking way.
Dude. All right, look, Jordan. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You can go to McDonald's and get nearly anything they offer for $1. Like they're trying everything that they can to bring.
Can you get a Big Mac for $1?
You could probably buy an employee for $1.
Jesus.
Like, okay. Kid you not.
Anyway, that's an easy win for Burger King. Like it's not even a fight.
Okay.
Last chicken category. This was specialty. This one's a bit of a weird one, I think, because for McDonald's we went with the buttermilk crispy chicken sandwich, which is basically just a fancy chicken sandwich. And Burger King, we went with the spicy crispy chicken, which is basically a spicy version of their classic chicken sandwich. So like wildly different chicken dishes, but that was the most logical matchup that we could find. Anyway, Jordan, your thoughts on
I remember when
sandwiches?
McDonald's first came out with their chicken select sandwich. And I thought it was really good. This was pre Chick-fil-A being huge, pre Popeyes and all that kind of shit. Like they've had this thing for like 20 plus years at least. And I've never had the privilege of trying a spicy original, so I really can't weigh in. But I mean, the McDonald's Select is good. It is good from what I remember.
So I'm actually going to weigh in first on this one because John's Burger King experience is blowing my mind here. But I have two major takeaways from this matchup. One is that the spicy crispy chicken from Burger King is somehow worse than the classic chicken sandwich from Burger King. Even though it's the same sandwich, just spicy. Somehow they made it worse. Yeah. And second is that regardless of that, the buttermilk crispy chicken sandwich from McDonald's is infinitely better regardless of that. Like even if the spicy chicken sandwich from Burger King was like the exact same as the classic chicken sandwich but spicy, it's still way better than that. This is like a no contest matchup for McDonald's in my opinion.
John?
All right, so we're just going to call that a clear takeaway for McDonald's. John has no input whatsoever.
Yeah, like what's surprising is like they did something right with the buttermilk crispy chicken that I don't know why they're not doing it to all their chicken. Like the breading was good, the chicken was good, and like the spicy crispy chicken sandwich was a letdown.
Right?
Like that's
right.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Is it not like slightly worse than the regular chicken sandwich?
I think it's slightly worse because of expectations as well as like quality. Because like I was like expecting to be like, oh man, that original chicken sandwich was pretty good. Like, but I'm getting spicy. I love me some spicy shit.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be. Dude, I was blown away by how good the classic chicken sandwich is at Burger King. And like I expected it to be that plus spicy and just like blow my fucking mind. And it's like
did not happen.
I took a bite of it and I threw it away. I'm like, fuck this sandwich.
How dare you disappoint me on this level?
And I fucking pounded that buttermilk crispy chicken, boy.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Like, and that's what really like flabbergasted me because it's like, why not do this to all of your fucking chicken? I know they came out with the buttermilk chicken tenders at one point in time. It was like, dude,
which weren't good from what I remember. I remember getting them and like I was like, there's something weird about these. They taste like they were made in like 5-day-old oil.
Yeah, that's because like they actually don't like brine them in buttermilk like they should. They just put it with the breading and think it's good. But anyways, it's still better for the buttermilk crispy chicken. Like, and I don't know why they didn't do it with the other chicken stuff. Like, this should be a standard for all their other chicken stuff, especially their nuggets, because their nuggets suck.
Yeah, I totally agree. Burger King nuggets are garbage, and I don't understand why they can't get their shit together, dude. It's fucking wild.
Son of a bitch. God, I hate them.
Dude, that's the one thing so far that, like, everything that you said, I'm like, okay, maybe, sure, but like the absolute uncrossable divide on the nuggets makes me believe that there's something going on at my Burger King, or your Burger King just has a really high standard that the rest of Burger King doesn't have. One of those things must be true, because like, for you to sit there and tell me that Burger King nuggets are even good, much less better, but even good, is bafflingly impossible based on my experience.
God, I'm gonna FedEx you some fucking Burger
And
King
actually,
nuggets.
I can actually tell you that your Burger King must just be especially good, because I've gone to multiple Burger Kings here for the nuggets and had the same experience every single place. So Burger King nuggets are just bad. Congratulations that you found the one Burger King in America that has good nugs.
Fuck you.
So the next category up is burgers and fries, but I'm actually going to skip to drinks, because I think that'll be a quick takeaway category. That kind of makes sense to put before burgers and fries. So first up, let's talk about we talked about the OJ in breakfast. Let's talk about the soda fountain at each location. We talked about this in our original bicker on the first round table, how I firmly believe that the Coke at McDonald's is the best Coke that you can get anywhere, and that opinion did not change one fucking iota. In fact, I think I got like 3-day-old syrup at Burger King, or they tried to poison me, because I keep coming back. But it's another like no contest, easy win for McDonald's for me.
Yeah, and I'll have to agree with you on that as well. Like, it's fine. Like, I haven't drinking soda in such a long time. The only time it was like a Jack and Coke, but like it was definitely a different taste. And McDonald's won, hands down. Like, it's fine.
So the other category, I didn't even ask your opinion, Jordan, because it doesn't matter, because it's just factual. But I will ask your opinion about this one. We had a chocolate shake at both establishments.
I honestly don't know. I'm guessing McDonald's, but I really don't have much to weigh on.
When their shake machine's not broken.
You got it.
Did you run into that problem at all, John?
No, actually, I don't. I've actually never run into that problem.
Yeah, I haven't run into that problem since I was a kid, but I guess it's still like a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so John, what did you think?
Close, but McDonald's was creamy.
So I actually had a similar experience. Like, my notes say that Burger King has a better shake flavor.
Yeah.
McDonald's tastes like chocolate syrup, but tastes like a shake.
Yes.
So I gave a slight edge to McDonald's as well.
Yeah, because like literally all McDonald's does is they just put ice cream, like vanilla ice cream, and put chocolate syrup in it, instead of like using like actual chocolate ice cream, which actually no, a lot of people do that. But it's how much syrup drastically changes the taste of that shake. So depending on who's making your shake,
I mean,
you get
the
a
right way to
different
make
shake.
that shake is to use vanilla ice cream and use Hershey's chocolate syrup. The wrong way is to use chocolate ice cream.
Wow. Yeah, no, you're
Nope.
wrong about that, my McDude.
I'll die on that cross.
No.
The best chocolate
Like,
shake starts with vanilla ice cream.
Okay. So I can take a segue real quick and just talk about why that is the incorrect way to go about it. So when you do a shake and you do vanilla ice cream and Hershey's chocolate cream, depending on how much vanilla ice cream you use, which vanilla ice cream you use, and how much Hershey's ice cream, you will get a drastically different shake each time to where you can't really match that consistency. But when you use chocolate ice cream and then you just add the milk to it to get whatever creaminess you want, it's based off your chocolate ice cream, which you'll get a more consistent shake and also one that doesn't taste like just straight up Hershey's fucking syrup some of the time.
Okay, so there's let's boil it down to the real issue here, because there's two problems. The first one is a scientific technical problem, which is when you introduce syrup, you're offsetting the balance of ice cream to milk that makes a milkshake, and so you have to compensate for that. So I'm sure Jordan fucks it up because everybody fucks that part up, and so it just leads to a lower quality shake. But the more fundamental problem with it is that vanilla is not blank. Vanilla is a flavor. Fuck everybody who calls vanilla plain. Vanilla is not plain. So when you start with a vanilla shake and augment it to chocolate, you have to overpower the vanilla flavor of the shake. Mm-hmm. Thusly, you will always get a better chocolate shake with chocolate ice cream.
Well, you're gonna hate me because the way that I make my chocolate shakes is I will start with good quality vanilla ice cream because I enjoy the vanilla mix with the Hershey syrup, and I will add.
God. And then you fuck it over
and
with
then
Hershey's.
I will add.
All right.
Like, at least make your own chocolate syrup.
And then to just put the final pile of dirt on that body, I add vanilla extract.
Oh my god.
That's my favorite shake.
What?
You ever put malt
I
in
would
there?
fuck
like,
that up.
Do you enjoy
I
a nice
love
malted
it.
milkshake?
Dude, that Tillamook ice cream as a shake?
Yeah, bro. I should have done that. I didn't even think about that. Okay, let's get back into this. So
hold up. Quick segue. 2 seconds. Uh-huh. Best fast food shakes: Habit and Carl's Jr. There you go. Said it. We're good. All right, we can move on.
Okay. So let's start with the fries. Who has better fries?
Jordan, what do you think?
This is gonna be weird, but I've always actually liked. I'm not a big fan of McDonald's fries, so I've always liked Burger King fries better.
Okay, John.
It's not weird at all.
I mean, I'm sure you're going to agree with him, so I don't know where the disagreement would come from, but let's hear it.
I mean, the only reason I don't disagree with them is because when it comes to Burger King fries, like, again, I got them both fresh. Like, I got the prime fry from both establishments. Burger King fries are just thicker and have a better bite and crispness than McDonald's fries. They're thinner, like, you can put more in your mouth, but, like, I just like the bite from the Burger King fries, and, like, the salt really adds to that potato that they use. Like, that's just how I feel about those fries.
Okay, so first of all, you're 100% right. Like, Burger King, this is not like a opinionated point. Like, Burger King fries are definitely bigger. However, they're also bigger with no fucking salt anywhere to be found. I was blown away. I'm like, where the fuck? How do you serve French fries with no salt?
Where the fuck is this Burger King? So I never go there.
I thought they were fucking with me, dude. I was like, no salt. Okay, but we ate at Burger King and McDonald's multiple times. I got the combo every single time.
Uh-huh.
And so I had multiple shots at the fries. They never put salt on the fries.
I'm so sorry.
Not a single time, John. No salt.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Holy shit.
And for that reason, McDonald's easily took this category because fries without salt are just shitty fried potatoes.
Shitty fried potatoes. Like, honestly, I have noticed, like, no matter how good you make a fry at its base, the seasoning makes or break.
100%. And that's why, like, I cannot endorse Burger King fries because there's no salt.
Fine. That's fine. That's fine. I totally agree with you. Like, that's great. Because, like, I will say Wingstop's fries without their signature seasoning are
Yeah,
ass.
yeah, yeah. They are banging though.
They are fucking delicious. Like, if I could just get a shaker of that seasoning, I'd make my own fucking fries.
So let's get into something that I think for the most part is going to be less subjective in terms of the restaurant fucking that up. And that's
Yes.
the burgers.
Yeah.
Because we only did 2 matchups in the burger category. So 4
Mm-hmm.
burgers, 2 from each establishment. But I ate at both of these establishments a couple of times since we did these matchups. So I've
Yeah.
had a couple additional shots at this, and I can tell you they're pretty consistent. Like what I
Mm-hmm.
experienced from Burger King and what I experienced from McDonald's is what I experienced across the board. So, with that said, the first matchup is the Big Mac versus the Whopper. Jordan.
I'm gonna have to go to the Whopper.
Okay. Any
I
particular
love
reason?
the special sauce. Like, I'll add the special sauce to my McDoubles when I used to order McDoubles. I would pay extra for them to add the sauce to it, and then I would put fries in between my patties, and I would
You're a
and,
disgusting human being.
and then I would take a hit of the blunt, and then I would eat the whole thing. So like
Oh,
Shit.
you should have led
yeah,
with that. That
well,
makes it okay.
yeah. So
that
that used to
makes
be one of my favorite
everything
things to do. That
make sense. Like, puts it
That and
all in
also I
perspective.
would buy a McDouble and I would split the sandwich apart and I would put an entire McChicken inside the patties and I would close it again.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good old
Yeah,
McGangbang.
that stuff's banging, dude.
What?
But
What the
just
fuck?
It was
just
McGangbanging.
the Big Mac by itself, it is a treat. It is. But I could always find myself craving a Whopper more than a Big Mac.
Yeah.
John.
It was close, but as Jordan said, the Whopper was slightly better because of the sauce. But no, actually, you know what? I'll address it later on. But yes, the Whopper was better, because like all the other toppings were like whatever. It was the sauce that made it better. Because like their onions are delicious, but with that sauce, that onion all together in one bite.
What sauce?
Mm.
The Whopper. So there's no Whopper sauce.
I feel
Did I
like
miss
he's
something?
just like orgasming.
Yeah,
over
the
there, not even
sauce!
listening to
The
what you're saying.
sauce!
Sorry. Yes.
I mean, I always thought, I thought Whopper sauce was just mayonnaise.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the special sauce at McDonald's is alright, but basically the condiments and everything put together for the Whopper just tasted better as well.
So, I guess I'll field your question since he's just ignoring it. Whopper sauce is not just mayonnaise. Like there's something in it, but it's different than McDonald's, and it's definitely different than like mayo or ketchup and mayo mixed together.
Yeah.
There's something about that sauce, but so here's the thing. The Big Mac is a lot of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of bread on that sandwich.
Yeah, 3 tiers. 3 tiers. Yep.
It's kind of like a salad stacked on bread with a sprinkling of burger meat in there. And the Whopper is a decent charbroiled burger, and it's just kind of fine. So I kind of don't like either one, but I would give a slight edge to the Whopper. But neither one of them, they're not great sandwiches for me.
They're fine.
They're fine. They're fine. I will never order a Big Mac again. I would conceivably order a Whopper again in the
Yes.
future.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but it's conceivable.
Mhm.
Now, one of the notes that I did make, though, is that the comparison, and I think I actually might have brought this up to you after I had these two sandwiches, was that the comparison of the Big Mac to the Whopper, while it makes sense because those are the signature sandwiches from each
Sandwiches,
establishment,
yeah.
they're
They're vastly
not.
different. Yeah.
They're totally different categories of sandwiches. Like,
I got you.
comparing
Yeah.
those two doesn't even make a whole lot of sense when you really think about it, other than
Yeah.
they're the
That they're the
signature
signature
sandwich.
Yeah, that's what we had this conversation, and that's like, yeah, it had to be done. Period. Point blank.
Right.
Full stop.
Right. I think that if you compare the quarter pounder to the Whopper, it would be a much tighter race,
It would be
but
closer.
um whatever. Um
Yeah.
give it to the Whopper on this one. The last traditional burger matchup is the McDouble versus the double cheeseburger from Burger King.
So I just got a flashback of me leaving my girlfriend's house senior year in my car. No, I was a freshman.
Okay.
She was a senior. So I was a freshman in college. Driving not really. Driving back
You stood.
from her house, stopping by McDonald's at 1 a.m. Sorry, stopping by Burger King 1 a.m. in the morning, getting an extra large Dr. Pepper, getting 3 double cheeseburgers, no pickles, and getting a large onion ring with zesty sauce.
My man.
Yeah,
And then
you
I would
definitely
go
were not a
home.
stud. Jesus
And then
Christ.
I'm not to the stud part yet. And then I would go home. I'd go on my computer,
Oh, sorry.
and honestly, I would probably just like play like Command and Conquer or something. So yeah, no stud to be found anywhere. There's no chads, no alphas, all betas. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, my point is, I think if I really have to go back and just imagine myself in that moment, like McDonald's and Burger King were right next to each other. I could have gotten McDonald's, but I always chose to get the Burger King doubles because
La
they're
Burger
just
King.
meatier burgers. I thought that the bread was better, the beef is better, the charbroil flavor. So I'm gonna have to actually give it to Burger King. Although I recognize that the McDouble is it's like a different food category. So it really is like it's like an engineering marvel. But I'm really gonna have to give it to Burger King here for the McDouble. Sorry.
Probably
Well,
not the best
hey,
way to describe something that you ingest,
food engineering,
but
man, it's
an
real.
engineering marvel it may be.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
John, tell me why you think Burger King is better.
Surprise,
He knows
surprise,
how I
bitch. McDouble was better, you fuck nugget.
Wow. What a stunning upset. What happened?
It was actually what we talked about earlier, and I found this out when I tried actually the Bacon King versus the Quarter Pounder.
Spoilers.
McDonald's seasons their meat.
No way.
Pure and simple, because with the Bacon King, it doesn't have the Whopper sauce that ties in with the meat and gives it a better taste. Just like the double cheeseburger versus the McDouble, you can taste the different seasoning of the meat because you have more patty to work with. So yes, the McDouble won out because the meat was seasoned better.
So, I'm just going to put a pin in it right there because if you recall, the reason this all came about was because you swore to God that McDonald's did not season their meat, and I told you were wrong.
Yeah.
That was really it. I just wanted to point out that.
It's totally fine. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with admitting you're wrong because, like, I could taste it. Like, yes, I could taste the charbroil on Burger King, but that was it. And then when I tasted the quarter pounder, like, even if I didn't like the seasoning, I could taste the seasoning. Like, there was a different taste to it. Even if they charred their fucking burger, like, you can taste the seasoning still.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm in total agreement for the reasons you just outlined. So let's just push into the not so surprise final category, the special consideration category, where John wanted us to try the Bacon King from Burger King. I chose the quarter pounder from McDonald's. In retrospect, I kind of wish I had chosen the double quarter pounder, but it's fine. What do you guys think?
I haven't,
of these two
but I can talk to the
sandwiches?
quarter
Jordan,
pounder.
have you ever even
It's
had
a classic
Bacon
burger.
King?
It's not my go-to, but it's good. And that's about all I have to say.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take this one, and this is actually where I didn't enjoy my eating experience from Burger King, just for the fact that if you're gonna give me a fucking Bacon King, give me some goddamn crispy bacon. On top of the patty was more than the bacon that I was given to, and all I tasted was charbroiled like goodness, but it was too much because the other condiments and the lack thereof of crispy delicious bacon did not make up for it. Quarter pounder though, on the other hand, was surprisingly good. And again, one of the first burgers that I tried from McDonald's in this matchup, and like I could taste the difference in seasoning. It wasn't even really close, to be honest with you.
So it's interesting because this is another one of the situations where the Bacon King is basically just a Whopper, like a double Whopper, but with bacon. I mean, like that's not exactly accurate because it doesn't have the Whopper sauce or
Sauce,
the same toppings, but
toppings, yeah.
regardless, like essentially, like it's made from the same patties. Those are just Whopper patties. You get a double Whopper with different toppings, and the fact that they added bacon, in my opinion, actually kind of detracts from the burger
Yeah,
instead of making it
yeah,
better.
yeah.
And like you
Especially
said, the
when it's
quarter pounder,
inferior bacon.
right? And like the bacon just kind of sucks, dude.
It did. It sucked so hard.
And the quarter pounder is just like a juicy, seasoned, flavorful burger. It's
Yep.
simple, it's classic, but it's good.
It sucks because the original sandwich that I picked was it was, what was it, the it was the barbecue bacon burger.
But
And
you know
I've
what?
had
But you know what? Like, I'm gonna skip ahead a little, kind of like tease final thoughts here for a second. But like, after going through this, I'm more than willing to go back to Burger King to try that sandwich.
yeah, it's better. Like, I will say, like, I'm telling you, dude, there's a difference in the barbecue sauce that Burger King uses compared to McDonald's, and I'm not sure if McDonald's even uses barbecue sauce in any of their burgers, but like when Burger King puts barbecue sauce on a fucking burger,
rodeo
that shit
burgers, dude.
goes to another level. Like, what was the burger that I had,
So,
dude? Oh my god!
Here's my dirty little secret. I have a drawer
I-
full of McDonald's barbecue sauce, so I could put it
You're
on anything I want.
disgusting. That is
I agree.
gross.
Like, just a drawer full of that shit.
It's way too sweet, dude. It's way too sweet.
It's the same
It's
sweet.
not.
I literally
Fucking
had them
not.
right in front of me and tested one, took some water, washed out my mouth, tested the other. The difference between them is Burger King is thicker and has a slight maybe bit of smokiness to it, but the flavor profile is virtually identical. They're not any sweeter. I promise you they're not. Unless you have like the God tongue, and you can taste the difference of like
Whoa.
1 gram of sugar or something.
I got the
They're
God tongue,
not.
but not for that reason.
So like I'm just gonna straight up say that you're fucking insane on that one.
That's totally fine.
Putting it on a burger, yeah, it would probably enhance the burger for sure. It definitely enhanced the chicken sandwiches that I tried to make better when I didn't want to eat them. But like for you to sit there, this is like when you were trying to convince me that their chicken nuggets are good. They're not. Like their barbecue sauce is virtually the same.
Whatever you say, bro. All right, cool.
So after all of these matchups, let me tell you how it boils down. In terms of breakfast, it is a slight edge to McDonald's. And I say slight edge because I'm taking the individual matchups who won those in comparison to us. So like if you said Burger King, I said McDonald's, that's a tie. We both said McDonald's. Whatever. Point is, McDonald's wins that out by 1 matchup. In terms of
surprising.
Yeah. I mean, Burger King put up a fight.
Yeah.
In terms of chicken, it is a total tie. In terms of burger, no contest goes to McDonald's.
Yep.
Fries are a tie. Drinks are an easy win for McDonald's.
Yeah.
And in the special choices, it also goes to McDonald's, which has an overall the One About podcast choice of McDonald's. But I have to ask, after going through all of those, I was going to ask you which one do you prefer, but I'm positive you still prefer Burger King. The real question that I want to ask you is, do you have a newfound appreciation for McDonald's?
For specific burgers, yes. As a whole, I feel like I'd go that for specialty items. And like when I go to Burger King, like it's literally to get what I just posted in the channel, which is the fucking barbecue bacon, which is crack. It's delicious. But like I actually got a newfound appreciation for Burger King's items as a whole. Like from my experience, especially the chicken nuggets. But for each establishment, they have their pros and cons, and it was closer than I thought it would be in most categories, but I kind of figured McDonald's was going to win. But I still prefer Burger King. You are correct. I still prefer Burger King over McDonald's. But if I had to choose, The Habit. Probably
The Habit's not in this conversation, man. Stop bringing up The Habit. I know you like The Habit.
Bringing it into the conversation because consistency-wise, service-wise, and like quality-wise, Habit wins out. Maybe not by the price point, but it still wins out. Anyways,
so let's talk about service for a second, because I got some real fucking bones to pick for a second.
Let's do it.
So Jordan, I told John about this, but I did not tell you about this. I can't, dude. The first day that we went to do this, I went to Burger King and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the Whopper and I'm gonna go to McDonald's and I'm gonna get the Big Mac and I'm gonna do that comparison. I roll up, they're like, hi, thank you for coming to Burger King. We don't have any burgers. What would you like? I know. I said that to John. He was like, "Why are you open?" And I asked myself the same thing.
God, dude.
I had
welcome to Burger King. What chicken dish can I get you?
Dude. I was like, "What the fuck do you mean you don't have any answers?"
Like, Oh my god.
Yeah, I just can't, dude. So
Fuck. I
that
was so
happened.
stunned by that. Oh my god.
What they said something else too. I can't remember what it
We
was.
don't
But they
have-
were like, we don't have any burgers and we don't have like classic chicken or something like that.
I think it was any burgers and any chicken nuggets or something like that.
something. It was something. But I literally sat there for a second.
It's
And I
like
was
the guy ahead of you
what
ordered. Can I
do
have a
you
Whopper
have?"
with
It's
100 patties?
why are you even here?
Welcome to Burger King. We're out of burgers, chicken tenders,
Can I
and
have everything you have
unrelated, but we're
left?
also out of soap. So we've been reusing shit, and it's like not super cool, but we can get you like, I don't know, what do you want? Like a Hershey's pie? That's cool. Oh, I love those little Hershey pies.
We actually considered doing
I don't like
apple pie.
I don't
and
like
Hershey
the
pie, but
like
we
McDonald's
actually
apple
didn't
pies.
have
Like,
it.
man, I don't really give a shit
I'm
about
just
them.
not a fan. I'm not a fan of the desserts or anything like
But-
that. Like, that's my
so-
fault.
So short version, it like that was my first experience. Second takeaway is everything was cheaper at McDonald's. I don't know
Yeah.
why. But I ordered the combo in both places for almost everything that I ordered, unless it wasn't viable. And McDonald's was always cheaper, but in some cases by a fucking lot. Like we're talking like actually that day I forget what I ordered, but I ordered like
So
a couple of individual
I take it that
items from
you
Burger
think
King, and I
McDonald's
got
has a better dollar
combos
menu?
at McDonald's, and it was still cheaper at McDonald's. Oh, it definitely has better. I mean, like, regardless of
that's
quality,
not even a
like,
question.
yeah,
That's
it's
not a
like not a
question.
it's a non-issue that they have a better.
I'm trying to tell you, like, McDonald's is doing everything in its power to draw people back to them. Like, I swear to God, you could buy employees on their dollar menu. I'm not kidding you whatsoever. Like, indentured servitude is on the menu.
Jesus. And then there are the dramatic quality problems that Burger King has. So, like, this is what I would say, right? Like, let's just assume that everything that John is saying is accurate. And that he had this wonderful experience with the nuggets, and the fact that he could have that experience, and then I get the nuggets and they're soggy and they're flavorless and unseasoned and gross. That's a huge problem with the quality between the different restaurants in the same chain. And I promise you that if I go to McDonald's here, there, or in East Jesus nowhere, I'm gonna get the same chicken nuggets, regardless of what you think about those chicken nuggets. They're gonna be the same fucking chicken nuggets. I promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
So from like when you look at it from those perspectives, Burger King just fucking lost me wholesale, regardless of how good their food is. But in some categories, their food's pretty good, man. So while Burger King's not a total trash fire, like I remembered it being, it's still pretty much a trash fire. Because like my thing is like,
Dude,
my favorite place
that's
to go
gross,
eat is
dude.
Dunkin'
I've
Donuts
been
right
to
here
that Dunkin'
on the
Donuts.
corner.
That place
And the reason
sucks.
for that is not because
I'm so
hold on.
you know
Hold
we
on. Hold on. Hold on. Shut up.
so bad.
Shut up. Shut up. So the reason for that is not because their food is good or whatever.
Don't
It's
I look like an
because
asshole?
the people who work there are always super friendly, super fast.
Look,
and
every
on
time
their
I go
shit.
to Dunkin' Donuts, you know, my coffee's too bitter. They forget the cream and sugar. My donuts are stale, and I'm pretty sure someone pisses in the latte machine. But that smile that they give me every time I pull up in that drive-thru makes it all worth it.
I mean, I want to be clear. Like, I've never, well, not never, but
I
I've almost 100% of the time had a perfectly fine experience. Like, I like their coffee. They always make it right for me. Their food is
That shouldn't be
fine, but
asked.
like I have general issues with Dunkin's food just in general. That has nothing to do with that location or whatever. But like, if I want a cup of coffee in the morning, I know that I can roll up to that Dunkin', get it fast, get it with a smile, get it from people who seem like they don't hate their very fucking existence because they're at work. And I really appreciate that. Now, by contrast, if I roll up to the Burger King, I don't know if I'm going to get somebody who likes their job or the crackhead of the week. I don't know if I'm going to get soggy chicken nuggets or turds in a bag. Like, Burger King is just all over the place, and I hate the experience of going there. Not to mention, for some reason, lunchtime, there's a gigantic line there. And when I say gigantic, I don't mean like 30 cars backing up into the driveway. I mean like 4 cars, which for my local Burger
Look,
King
I
is
used
a
to have a
gigantic
friend that
line because it
lived
takes like a
directly
half a
across
fucking
from
hour to
that
get through the drive-thru
Dunkin'
with 4
Donuts
cars.
that you're referencing. So I have history with that establishment going back almost decades. And they have always been a steaming pile
Jesus
of garbage. Like, I don't like Dunkin' Donuts already. I don't. I don't know what New Jersey sees in that shithole, or why the New England area fucking loves their Dunkin' Donuts because it's trash. But I have gotten good Dunkin' Donuts. Other ones have been nice to me. Their coffee is consistently bad, but I do drink it sometimes. But that one in particular has slighted me so bad. I don't. It is that one in particular, and I picture it in
Oh
my
my
mind. And
God,
I think what's
Jordan.
worse for me is that it's
Jesus
next to one of
Christ.
my favorite ice cream places of all time. Yeah, it's one of my favorite ice cream places of all time. Grew up going to
Dude, that
not
place
that one, but
rules.
another one that was a city over, owned by the same person. Love it, absolutely love it. And for them to share even a few meters of space is absolutely blasphemous for me. And the Spook Pope shall not have it.
I
Nope.
just have to
I want
imagine
to
that they've
not imagine it,
changed
and I want to just be
ownership
ignorant.
and leadership since
So
you've last gone there.
that's just how I'm
'Cause,
gonna live.
dude, it's just
That's just
phenomenal.
I'm gonna live my truth,
Okay, I mean
and
that's fair.
my
You're the
truth
Spook Pope. You
is
can do whatever you want.
generating an opinion and
Um,
never changing it. So
that's all we can do, man. My
I
truth
probably
is
do.
at best my local Burger King hates me,
So
and they
totally random,
are
right?
out to
Totally
ruin
random.
my dining
But I
experience
had to
every single time I
refresh
roll up
your
into that
stream, and I
driveway.
got an ad for Jersey Mike's, and they were advertising their delivery service, and it was like a POV of a guy sitting on his couch playing video games, and the dude that filmed it must never have played video games in his goddamn life, because the TV was like a 27-inch TV across the living room, and he was using what only can be described as like a Mad Catz for PC remote. So it was like a weird shaped controller that you would need like 3 hands and 7 thumb toes to use. It was just so off-putting. I had to bring it up really quick. It wasn't even on.
Ew.
So, yeah, my point is
At worst, they're actively
that
trying to kill you.
at best, my local Burger King hates me. And
Best.
yeah, they may have actually poisoned me, and it's just a really long con play, so I don't catch up on the fact that they poisoned me. But I have to say, like, overall, I still think I would rather go to McDonald's for a couple of reasons, but certainly if I'm ever craving a charbroiled burger, I know that I can get really shitty service pick that up.
So I don't eat like obviously I don't really eat much fast food anymore, but there is a fast food place that I do go to, which does technically break my rule, and it's Backyard Burger. And Backyard Burger does charbroil, so it's like Burger King on crack. It's way better.
Is that corner joint over by the Walmart?
It is, yes.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I've never gone there, but I've driven past it and like
they have the same. They have the same. I would recommend stopping in. It's like Burger King, but I do
That's
believe.
Unfortunate.
So
are they gonna throw my food at me or
that's part of
my drink?
that's part of the experience, you know.
Oh, my bad.
No, they're I do believe that they are better than Burger King, but they only do one thing. It's like, you want a burger, or like, are you here for a burger, right? So there's not a lot of diversity in their choices. But if you just go there for a double cheeseburger, you're gonna get a good burger, and it is a charbroiled burger, like kind of like Burger King does. They pollute the atmosphere around them with their fucking charbroil gases and their fumes, right?
It smells so good though, man.
If you're anywhere near a Burger King, you know it because you smell that fucking charbroil smell that they just artificially
smell
pump
that
out.
cha.
Yeah, like you don't smell a McDonald's, you smell a Burger King though. So they do the same thing. They have the whole fucking chimney. They're like a damn train just choo-chooing their way through Charbroil Town. They're trying to get their passengers there. But it's worth stopping in and getting. It is good. It's not like going to blow you away, I'll be honest, but it is good. It is still good. It actually reminds me a little bit of Hardee's. Because doesn't Hardee's kind of do charbroil, right?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, so it actually reminds me. It reminds me more of Hardee's than anything else.
You know what though? I will say, since I discovered that we have like a full blown Hardee's over here now, I went over there recently, and man, I get great charbroiled burger service there.
They're good.
They don't like yell at me or make me wait in a really long line or ruin my food. It's actually kind of a nice experience.
Stupid.
Gentlemen, any last words that you would like to add before we end our show this week?
Habit's the best.
I mean, I think the best burger joint for me is Shake Shack.
Oh my god, no! I'm gonna leave it alone. I
think it's Shake Shack, and I'll
fuck,
fight a bear with that opinion.
Stop it!
I think I got to go Five Guys. But as always, before we go, remember that you can catch the show live every week on Twitch, an entire week before it goes live on all other feeds, as well as submit your questions and comments for us to read live on the show. If you're listening to this after the fact on YouTube, make sure you drop us a sub as we upload a new episode every single week. And if you are on podcast services, drop us a review as it helps us find new audiences. And don't forget that you can chat with us whenever over in our Discord server. You can find all the relevant links below. And as always, have fun out there, guys.